This your boy King John, and you back again to My Main Radio. Let's get it.
Welcome to Mom Made Radio. This your boy King John. I'm tapped in today, and I'm going to be tapping in with homosexuality and is it a mental disorder? This is an important subject in this podcast today, and I'm going to be breaking down some things in a very strategic manner. So, in the podcast today, I'm about to be going over a few concepts. Like, for one, what is homosexuality in general? We're going to be talking about mental health, what mental health is. We're going to be talking about government, um, self government, really, and breaking down what that represents, free will, right and wrong. We're gonna be talking about animals and how animals act and things of that nature. We're gonna be having a great conversation today. But so Van Ashton, we can start with you, brother. Can you tell me by definition? And I want to hear each one of y'all's like quick definition. Give me like 2 minutes at the most. Tell me what's homosexuality to you?
Oh, in a nutshell, it is to some construct of mental disorder.
But yes, based on it's a mental disorder for sure. It's and homosexuality in itself is really just another person wanting to sexually perform with another person of the same sex. That is, you know, based on mentality, your mental way of thinking. You know what I'm saying? For you to have sex with a woman, you have to have a certain mentality. You feel me? And that's also just quickly to tap into it when it comes to sexual fulfillment. A man. I'm just being honest with you. When I didn't mentally have like the concept of what sex was and really understand it correctly, when I was having sex with women, it wasn't like it's like intimate as it was as I started actually being into it. Because at first I'd be like, okay, well, whatever, you know what I'm saying, and then just be worried about the ejaculation part of it, and that part was it for me. Like, okay, I got mine, you know what I'm saying? Like, that is not cool though, you know what I'm saying? But that's the whole point of not mentally being aware of why you are engaging with someone. You know what I'm saying? Because it's to actually have sex with someone that you're married with, you don't have to worry about condoms and all that. To be honest with you, you're not gonna get pregnant every time you have sex either. So when you are dealing with somebody that you are intimate with and having sex with all the time, it's not about like getting pregnant or not getting pregnant. It's not about, you know what I'm saying, just trying to satisfy yourself or not. It's about really engaging and becoming intimate with the person that you are tapping in with. And that, you know what I'm saying, because y'all are one. Y'all want to keep a certain energy exchange going on consistently. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's a big thing. But really quick, as I move on to the next part, real quick, why is it legal? You know what I'm saying? Why is homosexuality legal? It became legal because a group of people eventually said, you know what? I'm going to start making this more. I don't want to just hold this in my bedroom. And we made this example earlier. Like, for example, you got Prince, who you would never, nobody ever can say that Prince was gay. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody. It makes like, and what it seems like is, if Prince did never say he was gay himself and he always was around women and nobody really knew if he was gay, that means that a person can literally be flamboyant, if that's what you call it or whatever, and they can be like gay, and nobody has to know at all. It doesn't, you know what I'm saying, it doesn't change your life unless you want it to. You know what I'm saying? So eventually people decided to say, hey, I want to make this public. I want to actually marry this person I'm dealing with and things like this. So now it becomes, okay, well, why can't I marry this person? And so now it'd be like, well, because you're not, that person's not a woman and you're not, you know what I'm saying? So it becomes a fight now. And now over time they have developed laws to tap in with homosexuality. Van Ashton, you want to tap in with that part, bro?
Oh, yeah. Um, yeah. I believe that they made it legal because it predominantly, just to keep it simple, they want to destroy the normal structure of a family, a household structure of building a family. I really believe it. That's the whole common denominator of why they made it legal. It destroys the normality of building a man, woman, and child household structure with true order, natural order. Now they may give you reasons from the outside looking in, but eternally these people are literally making it legal just to keep that structure from coming together, that normal structure of a man and a woman coming together and raising a child. Just to sum it up.
No, I feel you on that. And well, I say like at the end of the day, that's not why it's legal. You know what I'm saying? That's just like it's not legal because like, and that's another thing I want to talk about, like the concept of agenda, like the homosexual agenda type concept of like, oh, they're trying to make people gay. Now this is the point, right? They're not trying to make nobody anything. What is happening though is that there is a force that's working beyond just homosexuality. That it's just a force that wants us to just be in the world, becoming pleasurable to ourselves, wanting us to actually seek nothing but pleasure and fulfilling ourselves and our lustful desires. That's what they want us to do. That's not what the principalities and the high places that we fight against. That's what's doing that. And I think a lot of people, which is frustrating to me too, a lot of people don't have their own mindsets. So they are easily influenced by people, and people know that, so they take advantage of that. You know what I'm saying? So at that point, everything is, shifting to like, you know, it seems as though this is purposely being done, but it's just because nobody's paying attention to what's happening. It's just flowing like that. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it is, and it's legal because, like I said, people started to speak up about the things that they wanted to start making public. People didn't want to keep some of their relationships in the closet anymore. They like, no, I want to be able to be free to be out here doing what I want with the person that I love and things like that. You know what I'm saying? And they start feeling like they love, like I'm in love because I feel so strongly about this person. So if that's the case, why do anybody else have to know? But that's a problem though. We need people to approve of what we have going on. We want people to know that we happy. We want people to know that we are feeling or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a real thing. Chris, how you doing? Just so you know, this is a podcast. This is being recorded. And if you do speak, just keep it at 2 minutes. And if I cut you off or pause you, it's only because you went over the 2 minutes. So tap in, Chris.
Hey, what's going on, guys? I just so happened to jump in, and I'm like, this is really interesting. I don't know. I think now that I'm learning a little bit more about psychology and what mental disorders are and the difference between condition, behavior, and actually, genetics and how epigenetics is also involved. There's issues that are going on hormonally that have nothing to do with homosexuality, but it all has to do with hormones actually that is connected from birth. And we are noticing that when the embryo is starting to get its own sex and when it's when it's adapting itself, what is it getting from the mother at that particular time for that particular stressor for that particular environment? So is the mother excreting more estrogen or testosterone for that environment, depending on what circumstances that she probably will be in? And this is what we have right now, including maybe it could be a lot of different variables. Was she getting hit? Was she getting abused? We know that the 90s and the 80s, a lot of, women, especially women of color, especially my mom, you know what I mean, were a product of, the silent generation. My mom's a baby boomer. What the hell did the silent generation go
So,
through? So
and
there,
I'm gonna cut it.
there's
Go,
a
no,
lot of things.
no, I hear you. I hear you though, Chris. And like I said, I'm only limiting you to 2 minutes. But the concept, I hear what you're saying. Like there's a process that we're living in right now where we have been grown, like we have been like groomed to look at things a certain way. That's why I was saying in my last room, emotional projection is what's really causing all this. Like people like to the concept of being born gay, that would means a person could be born straight. Nobody's born straight or gay. People are born people, right? But based on like naturalness, like a man and a woman coming together, we understand we understand the connection between that, the chemistry between it. There's literally many concepts that actually bring men and women together in that manner. You feel me? So now when it comes to like a man and a man coming together, that's not as natural. Like a man naturally has only one entrance, and that's the place that he puts his food, and then he has an exit where that food comes out. Because of this understanding, there is no natural way for a man and a man to sexually engage properly. And when I say properly, without it doing some type of damage in some type of manner, because Anal sex, no matter how you feel it for a man or a woman, it's damaging. I don't care how y'all feel about it. That's y'all business in y'all bedroom. Do y'all thing, but it is definitely
It's not
damaging.
it's not just about that type of sex. It's also about hermaphrodizing and how under stress you can really reproduce and not do your own. Was Mary Magdalene's story, Jesus' story, correct? I mean, it could be under a lot of stress because we can hermaphrodite. Like, that's what I'm trying to tell you. Like, there's levels to this shit.
So okay, let me like no. There's definitely levels to what's going on, but what I want to be clear is this though. There is this thing where we're trying to normalize certain things. Like for example, if Chris, like, and be honest with me, Chris, um, is anal sex healthy?
It depends on which perspective you're looking at. Are you looking at it from Ford's perspective that thinks that by the time that we are two, we're going to be experiencing those type of sensations because we learned how to poop and pee? I mean, I don't know. It really depends.
Let me say this though. You're
I,
telling me that
I'm not.
just because somebody
I'm
listen.
not saying if it's good or not. I'm just saying it might not be good for you. But I'm just saying there's
No, I
biology to
said
it.
healthy.
Why are
I
the,
said healthy.
why? It doesn't matter if it's healthy or not.
No.
If
That's
that body
what I'm
can
asking.
withstand it,
I'm
if
asking.
that human, if that human can withstand it, what's the difference of using toys?
Yes, but I'm asking, is it healthy? Now, it's not. It is not about whether you feel like
I
it's
mean,
healthy or not. I'm asking.
as long as the outcome is happiness, I'm sure it is.
Okay, so now let me. Okay, I'm crying. So, for example, there's people that eat cake and they be happy, or eat ice cream and they be happy.
And then
Now,
there's
there's
people who
people.
suck their thumbs. Either way, it's
No,
happiness.
right. No,
That's
right.
called
No,
oral
that's what I'm saying.
fixation.
Right. No, that's fine. And I got a cousin that used to do that too, and now her teeth is like poking out her lips.
And that's
And
okay for
I,
that, because I
I
mean, we're a society who judge judgments on things that should not be done or should be done. What's the problem with that?
no, that's what I'm saying. You can say all that, but like for example, my cousin doesn't like her teeth like that, and she be trying
You
not to
have to
smile
talk
because
from
her teeth
your
is like
own
that.
perspective. What do you
No, that's what
like?
I'm
What
saying.
don't you
No,
like?
that Yes, no. Listen to what I'm saying. Like you're asking. I'm asking a question about, is anal sex healthy? I don't have anal sex, so I don't know what it does to somebody's body, like eternally for them. But what I'm saying is that I know for a fact it's not actually healthy, because it's not even healthy to take big shits. So it shouldn't even be. It's not. It wouldn't even be healthy to put anything
It
inside
depends
of
on the
your.
perspective that you're looking at.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. You're saying depending on the perspective I'm looking at.
You're
I'm looking
looking
at
at
it
it
from a
from a
perspective
biased
of
perspective. That's why you're
no,
already leaning to
no.
one side. You already know your own answer for yourself. But you're me. I can't say if it is or not because I also don't do it. So I can't say it. But I'm not going to sit there and be like, is it not healthy because I don't do it? No.
No, okay, so that's my point that I'm making. So you said you're not gonna say it's not healthy because you don't do it. That's fine. We can leave it at
I
that.
mean,
But we're not gonna
I
try to
can't give
say
my
that it
opinion
is.
on it. But I mean,
No,
a lot of
I'm
people
saying
are gay for a reason. I mean, it seems like they like it.
no. That's not what I'm saying. Like for example, there are people that like to eat unhealthy food.
What's your
But
judgment on
Chris, hold on,
healthiness though?
Chris,
Your judge
Chris. I don't want the conversation to go left, Chris. Like, and I'm not disrespecting you by interrupting you or nothing. I'm trying to have a conversation and dialogue. What I'm saying is that I hear what you're saying, and this isn't a very emotional conversation. But what I'm saying is that if I'm saying, is it healthy, meaning that does it have any kind of unhealthy properties that could occur during this time? And like, for example, this is too much information, but I done had to take bowel movements in it. Like, I done been constipated and it doesn't feel good. Build up or whatever. No, it doesn't feel good, and it's not healthy for me to actually have situations like that. And it's not healthy for me to take uh I'm gonna try to be entertaining. Dookies. You know what I'm saying? You shouldn't take a dookie. Like, that's too big. So what I'm saying is that it's like it's just not healthy. But of course, you know what I'm saying? Like, everything that you like when you scar your body, certain things like happen that's like, and then you get scars and stuff like that. You can cut yourself, it heals up, but it still leaves a scar, which means that was something that wasn't supposed to happen. You know what I'm saying? So my whole point that I'm making is that is when it comes to something being healthy is like, is this natural? Because if it's natural, then it's healthy. If it's not natural, then it's not healthy. is what I'm saying to you. So I mean, if you don't want to answer the question, you don't have to. But I just want an honest answer, whether or not this is a natural, healthy concept that exists.
You, I can't answer something like that when you already have your own opinion to it. Like, what is healthy? What's healthy in this society might not be in a different one.
Okay, so let me ask somebody else then. Let's go ahead and move to the next person then. Go ahead,
And
Van Ash. Go ahead.
well, I mean, an example like I mean, happiness is happiness, and it depends on perspective of what people think happiness is or love is. But if you put the perspective of a 6 year old man trying to uh, find legal rights to have his way with a 10-year-old child. I mean, he's happy that he's able to do it if it's legal. Uh, he's happy that he's able to love that or love on that underage child. But is it healthy for the child to to
Those are
deal with it?
definitely two different perspectives because that's actually intention. What is the intention of that person? Like I said, that's different
Well, I
intentions.
mean,
That's
what
horrible
I'm saying
intentions, obviously.
what I'm saying is if the man gave the child anal sex, that's what I'm saying.
That's called rape, and that's obviously not homosexuality.
But Chris, you can do that. That's fine. But like, let's understand each other and not be so quick to be whatever we trying to be. Because like the truth is, what's being said here is that if a person just because something makes you happy does not mean it's healthy. That's the main point I was trying to make too. So we cannot equate happiness with healthy. You know what I'm saying? So that's why the question
I
I
mean,
asked you
money,
was not about
money,
what makes people happy. It's about if it's
right?
healthy.
Money
And
doesn't buy
you can no and
happiness,
you
but
no hold
here
on
we are
hold on.
comparing them.
But let me but no. But that's what I'm. Listen to what I'm saying if if you have
Go
ever
ahead, Prince.
taken a dookie in this room, and Prince, hold on for 1 second. If you have ever taken a dookie in this room, anybody who has ever taken a dookie that was too big in this room, it didn't feel good and it just and that's not because it's not natural. Like there's build up there. It's probably because you eating stuff you ain't supposed to be eating, all that good stuff. But the it's not healthy, and there's a reaction because of the actions that you do with your body. You know what I'm saying? And then some people might think that it's normal to have diarrhea or have constipation or something like that because they always got it because they always eating unhealthy. But that's not normal. You see what I'm saying?
So
So there,
those are two different circumstances, though.
no, it's the same.
One,
It's the
one, one,
concept of
one is sexual, and another one is actually consuming. One is like sexual, and another thing is food and our relationship to food. Those are two different things.
no, no, because for example, let's make sure
Why
that's
don't we give
clear.
somebody
People,
else a
no,
shot? If I'm so
yeah,
wrong, then
we can, no, Chris, yes, but this is my room, so I'm gonna make sure that I'm getting my points across. Like you're not go shut my point down and try to let's go
no,
to
I
somebody
mean
else because I was
you're
no, that's
really
not.
adamant
Let's
about your
right.
point.
So Chris, I'm trying to get my point across, Chris, and I limit who I have on the stage for this reason. This is why I limit who I have on the stage because of this. So I'm gonna make sure that I do not get upset or aggravated. I'm gonna continue to move how I have to move, and I'm not gonna move anybody down unless I have to. What I'm saying is though, so we can be on the same page, is that no matter how a person personally feels about something, we have to recognize that if it's not healthy, like for example, people like they have sex where they got like porn videos where people tie people up and whip people and put chains on them and a whole bunch of other stuff that they do to these people. And guess what? In
BDSM.
their eyes, this is what the brother said. In their eyes, this is normal. But if somebody else like did this to somebody, and like they'd be like, bro, what the fuck is going on here? It's not normal, is what I'm saying. So just because something makes you happy and makes you feel good, does not mean it's a normal concept, is what I'm saying. Go ahead, Prince. You got the mic.
Yeah, so I just wanted to speak briefly on your topic. You said it's homosexuality and mental disorder. So I am from the community, right? So this is something I did want to speak on. I did want to say this. Up until 1975, transgenderism, homosexuality, anything under the LGBTQIA plus umbrella was somewhat deemed to be, it might be something mentally wrong, but since then there have been a lot of conclusive and effective studies that have debunked that idea from other actually gathering people for research into things that are done. And I tell people all the time, when we have these type of conversations, we need to speak about facts and not feelings, right? Facts, statistical data, stuff that is actually being done to prove to prove a idea as a whole. So we're not just strictly going off of opinions and things that cannot be proven, because these are just personal internalized feelings that you have. So I just wanted to briefly just read this small little paragraph, right, that was on the American Psychological Association website, because there was a part that literally said, let me see, it says, what causes a person to have a particular sexual orientation? And this is done by scientists. They have literally stated, there is no consensus among scientists about the exact reasons that that an individual develops a heterosexual, bisexual, gay, or lesbian orientation.
Well, okay, so let's talk about that.
Go
So
ahead.
if we go into that concept, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah, yeah. If you no, let's dive into this now. Because if you go into this concept of homosexuality not being something that basically is a mental disorder, you like I said, being straight isn't either. But the concept is there is an understanding of how our brains work and how our subconscious work. Scientists have determined this. This is how it works. This is how we process information. For example, a person who practices something, they're not already great at it. You know what I'm saying? But they're getting better at it. So for example, for me, every sport that I've ever played, every video game I've ever played, every you know, anything I've ever studied, anything like that. I started off like not knowing not how to do it or not being good at it, and then I got greater at it. I got better at it. And whatever I'm at any moment with it, I can always become even better than I am at that moment, at that specific thing. There's always a I can be better here part. You know what I'm saying? That exists. And so what I'm saying is that if a person says like, hey, I am gay and I like men or something like that and I'm a man, that is them making a decision based on their information that they have gathered throughout their life. And guess what? That information that they have gathered has caused them to be attracted towards that person or whatever the case may be based on feelings and emotions and understanding. It wouldn't be based on natural instincts. That's what
Let's
I'm
see.
saying. So
And I
so
and I definitely. Oh, go ahead, man. I'm
no,
sorry.
my last point is that being gay natural isn't a natural instinct. Being gay is an influence instinct, no matter what. Because
So
naturally, a man and a man is not gonna like try to reproduce together, or even try to equate parts that is not like known to be able to be like a thing. But for example, a woman's vagina, she has energy coming from there, just like a man has energy coming from his energy. You know what I'm saying? And the truth of the matter is,
Oh,
they're gonna be able to figure that out together if you are around them. Like this is a
a
thing
lot of
that naturally
dolphins
so
happens.
would be upset
so
right now.
so let me return. So let me respond to you, mine. So I agree with you to a certain extent. This is where I agree with you at. Homosexuality is not natural when it comes down to reproduction, right? When it comes down to science of basic natural order of reproduction. We know two men cannot have a child together, but there are ways that there are things that are put in place with science, technological advances to make it, occur. Not actually a man being pregnant, but you have like surrogacy, you have things like that. Like people literally just have this notion and this mindset because people are gay, they have no way to bring a child into this world. It may not be done naturally, right, as a male and a female, right, but it can still be done. But this is my thing, right? You're basically saying that the act or the thought of a man wanting to be with another man is not natural. It is basically, in order for it to happen, information and things has to be gathered throughout the life. Well, let's talk about me, for example, because I tell people all the time, if you are a heterosexual man, you do not live the gay life, right? You don't know what it feels like. You don't know what happened. You have no type of inclusion to have a valid thought about another person's way of choosing to live and choosing to love. So for me, for example, I was not raped. I was not touched. I was not molested. I was not even around anybody gay in my family. My mother, she was a very feminine, beautiful woman. She was an international flight attendant. My father was a bodyguard. I had also my grandparents, they lived with me as well. They were married. I was around heteronormativity my entire fucking life. There was nothing, and here's another thing. They didn't fuck with gay people. My mom would say all the time, gays are going to hell, this, that, and the other. They did not fuck with gay people at all. So I was nothing but exposed to straight ideas, straight TV shows, everything just straight heteronormativity. That's all I was exposed to. But guess what? Prince knew in the back of his mind when he seen a male, he was attracted to him. He knew in the back of his mind when he seen a female, he was attracted to her as well. But I just never said anything about it. Why? Because I was not in the actual space to be able to actually, or a safe space to be able to voice my opinion. So there was nothing that was influenced upon me. Here's, if any fucking thing, if you're saying that sexuality is influential, then I was supposed to be straight then. You want to know why? Because I was around nothing but straightness.
Check out this segment from Mind Made TV featuring Tank Sosa.
Yeah, basically. That's basically in so many words what I just said. Certain niggas, bro.
You right.
Entourage, man. It might be a nigga who hang with me who shot or killed somebody that hang with such and such.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So they'd never be cool, but me and this nigga don't. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
Don River is so crazy, bro. These motherfuckers don't know what we go through. This shit crazy.
But you know, forgiveness is something that's real powerful too. And you know what I'm
That's
saying?
one thing motherfuckers don't know how to do.
Why not though?
Forgive and forget. You gotta learn how to do that shit, man.
Okay.
Forgive and forget.
So let me ask you a deep question. You know what I'm saying? So do you, like, if somebody did something grimy to you that you really wouldn't, you know?
I ain't gonna lie, bro. It depends on how far it go.
Okay. So
Depends on how far it go. You can't forgive a motherfucker for everything.
Mind Made TV, y'all. Thanks for tuning in.
No matter how we feel personally, you can say out of your mouth, like, I just didn't know what it, I just couldn't explain it. You couldn't explain it because you didn't understand it, and you can keep saying that you understand it completely and things like that. But when we have conversations like this, what I notice every time is that it's always people that like don't actually express some of their actual misunderstandings that they have had throughout their life that they still actually might have with certain concepts. Like, for example, there are people who I know personally who has come into this room too, not just in real life, because I got family members, but there's people on this app, so I don't even have to be like just saying something that some people not familiar with, because there's people in this room right now who has heard these people come into my space and say things like, hey, I used to be gay, and I'm not like that no more, because I realized that majority of my energy was just going towards lustful desires and feelings, and it didn't have anything to do with me self-governing myself. It didn't have anything with me understanding what true love was myself. And some of these people I was lusting and desiring over, they didn't even know what love was themselves either. And they, you know what I'm saying? So there is a lot of this that goes on in the people who say this. So we'll be being disingenuous and lying if we want to keep saying it's not about learning things and understanding things, or not learning things and understanding things. So just as much as it can be like, okay, well, I wasn't taught to be gay. Okay, you could also not been taught to understand yourself truly to be, you know what I'm saying, like a person that's not what you would call influenced by your sexual urges and desires.
But
So
man, let me
that's the
tell you
thing
this
too.
though, like, but here's the thing with that, and the reason why that is slightly problematic, right? I may not have understood at that point in time, but I am 26 years old, about to be 27. Now that I understand and I know what it is and what it ain't, there is no heterosexual bone in my body. There was a point in my time to where I was fluid. I was attracted to male and females. But as of right now, now that I know what I know and now that I'm comfortable, it is what it is. I'm a black gay man. It's just that simple. And I'm gonna tell you something about those people that want to come in here and kumbaya and say that, oh, I was gay. Do you actually really think that a man that has been on the receiving end of another man, or either the giver of a man, do you really think he can just wake up one day and just say that I'm straight? And that was just, I don't know what the fuck that was. See, the problem is that a lot of people will listen to those people and they think that being gay is just something that you can turn on and turn off. So why don't we say the same thing about straight people? Why don't we question them and say, well, is being straight something that you can just turn on and turn off when you feel like it? No. A lot of those people, they're not comfortable with residing in their queerness based off of society, based off of family. They have so many people around them that are against it. They almost start to question themselves. Well, I'm very stern in who I am. At the end of the day, the reason why I tell people all the time is that, for me, living in my truth and my sexuality is not a mental disorder. It's because I am performing exceptionally well at life. My credit score is where it should be. I literally own my home at the age of 26. There are a lot of things that I do for myself, because when we think about a mental disorder, we think about something that stops you from being able to
But
perform the
we
day.
don't want to go that part, and this is the thing, and like
What part?
you like a couple parts, but like one, like the most recent part is like because I like have my life in a certain order and structure. that I am like
But
perfect
see, a mental
because
disorder will
no,
stop
no,
you, right,
no,
from being
that's
able to
not
do those
true.
things.
That is not true. Some of the most successful people in the world currently that we see on the mainstream, they suffer from mental illness. Not even just the people that we see on the mainstream that's like rappers and stuff, but actual people that's professionals in certain professional areas. Even some of these therapists that claim to be the ones that's teaching mental health issues, they have their own mental health issues. There's a lot of
Right.
people that do not understand the deepness of this, and just because a person is pretending to be healthy, because like, hey, everybody, I've created an illusion that everything in my life is so perfect and going and smooth. Like, that's what we all are doing. We all are doing that.
But
We
mine,
all know how to do that.
let me ask you this personally: if there was a man that for about 10 or 15 years has been nothing but sexually active with men, and he gets to his point to where he feels like he wants to convert over to heterosexuality, do you think that in his mind, do you really, really think? And I'm just asking personally, do you really think that he can just wake up one day and just focus solely on women, not be
Yeah, no,
influenced
no,
by
and this is
any
another
man?
and that was the other part I wanted to tap into. Like, we have to make sure we 100% clear that anybody at any moment can end up like not being consistent on anything. So a person that says that they like women, that person can be influenced by other people still. They can easily be influenced, and that person can end up saying, you know what, I want to try to do something, and then they try to do that shit, and then they can either like it or not like it. That's their business, and they can decide what they gonna do. And they can claim that they were straight all their life. No, you still gay, brother. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter. And it's like, if that's what you're choosing to do, that's what you're choosing to do. But if a person who has made that decision in their life and they say, I'm done with that shit, those people are stronger than the other people because they actually have these desires and have experienced these desires, and they like, I'm gonna make sure I don't put myself back in that position because I don't like it. I don't like how it makes me feel. I don't like how it makes me think. I don't know. I don't like how it makes me feel like I'm not the man that I am. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever the case may be. There's a lot of different things that people have to recognize. Like, if you are gay, you know what I'm saying, then you are choosing to continue to do something that you are choosing to do. But if a person is saying, I don't want to do that, that person is not considered what people call gay because they don't want to be living the lifestyle that a person who is gay is living.
But mine,
So
they're
those
also
people are two
not
different people.
correct, but they're also not living in their truth as well. Because at the end of the day, what exactly, what
No,
exactly
that's
is
not
going
their
on in
truth.
your?
That's not their truth. Is that they are choosing to do what they want to do, and even though we live in a world where it's like lustful desires and thoughts, like strain us all the time, because it's not even just that. There's other stuff like for me, you know what I'm saying. I for sure, I get frustrated because sometimes I be wanting to like engage with people that I want to engage with, but I know I can't. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have to stop that because sometimes I be wanting to like hit people up or hang around people or go around people, be around people that I should not be around because I just be wanting to sometimes not be lonely. That's
Right.
something that I struggle with sometimes. But
But
that's
mine
not. I
is
have no. But listen to what I'm saying.
I'm
Just
listening.
because I have the desire, because I have the desires and thoughts and feelings to do that, me choosing not to do it is what is my discipline and my self control, which is what makes me who I am. And even though I want to do something, I'm not doing it, which means that I'm not doing what's in my will. I'm doing what's in God's will. That's how we're supposed to do with anything. So a person who decides that if a person who was gay before and they decide to stop being gay, they can stop being gay even if they still have these so-called desires that come through their head. As long as they consistently fight it and stop doing it, then they are living the life that they choose to live. That's as
Right,
simple as
but
that. But the
I
people
mean,
that try to make it
it
seem
can be
like
looked at as simple as that. But what I'm saying is that being gay is not necessarily just a choice that you can just turn on and turn off. We don't even say the same thing about straight people. Why are we not saying that? Okay, being straight is something that you can
throw
just
some meat
turn on
in
and
there
turn
with
off
what
when
you
you
were
want
saying
to.
too, Prince.
Mine, I have a question for you. Do you think a person is gay if they say they're a man and they say every time a man comes around I'm attracted to, I have these thoughts, but I don't act on them? To you, do you think they're still gay?
No, I'm not gonna. The reason why I'm gonna say no is because that person in their mind is choosing to not be gay. So that's the whole, because emotional projection is what causes people to commit suicide and shit like that. If a person is genuinely trying to say, I'm trying to fight against something that I know I don't want to do, and people are steady like, nigga, you gay still, whatever. Like, that shit is not somebody that you should be around. That's a fucked up individual, bro. Like, you're emotionally projecting. Like, even though, yes, in my mind, I probably, like, if I had the ability right now to be gay, some way I probably would be gay. that man right there is struggling in the inside. He probably is gay, and him telling himself he's not gay is him trying to make sure he stops himself from being this way. And that's how we all have to be with anything we do. Whatever we know we're not supposed to be doing no more, we have to start like, nah, that's not me. Even if we still feel that way, we still have to tell ourselves, no. That's the whole point. So whether they're gay to you or not, if they're telling themselves that they're not, they're not. And as long as they keep telling themselves they're not and not doing anything that's gay, they're not gay. And eventually, hopefully, through time, not it will happen as long as they stay consistent doing that. Those so-called thoughts and desires will start to not be there in the reality that they've been telling themselves that they are not that way and that's not who they are. It will become reality, and the more and more time that go by away from whatever they have done or have thought, it starts to fade away, and it starts who they have told themselves they are, who they continue to be, and how they continue to carry themselves becomes who they are. That's how we all are as people. Some people give up and give in and say, you know what, fuck it, I am gay, fuck you. And then that's how people turn gay. That is not gay. They be like, like they might have a little feminine traits or qualities or something like that, and they got sisters that's going, or brothers or cousins or mamas or whoever, like, you gay, ain't you? I know you a little gay or whatever. And this person is like, no, I'm not gay. And because in their mind, they like, what are you talking about? I don't think about doing gay, so I'm not gay. But now everybody around them like, you gay, you gay, you gay, you gay, you gay. Am I gay? And then start thinking about it, and then that makes them start like, well, shit, maybe I need to become comfortable with myself. Let me open my mind up to this. Anybody could be a crackhead. Like, y'all be tripping.
Yeah, just one other question. So a man, a real manly man, whatever we think that is, that nobody ever said he was gay. Nobody ever said he was feminine, but he comes to you and he's like, I have these thoughts about having sex with men, honestly, but I never had sex with men. That person's not gay just because they didn't act on that feeling to you.
If somebody come up to me like that and says that to me, I'm gonna be like, bro, yeah, keep telling yourself that you're not, so that you don't keep having these thoughts, bro, because like that's
Okay.
deep. Is that deep?
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing with the term and what being gay actually means. Gay is just not like, and I hate that when people talk about it, they try to make it a less thing, and it's just actual penetrative sex. No, if you actually look at the definition of what it means, it's also attraction or any time. I forgot what it said, but basically, even if you just have that attraction and you're not sexually like doing something with somebody, that is gay. Because I mean, at the end of the day, if I were to ask a straight man in my family, do you have any type of thoughts of a man, they're gonna tell you no. So if you are in your mind, because the mind is the control center of the body, if it starts in the mind, yes, you can choose to act on it or not, but it is there. So are we going to sit up here and literally just say that people that do have thoughts about sleeping with another man or they find another man attractive, that they're still straight? I don't necessarily agree with that. I'm not saying that that's what y'all are saying, but I'm just saying from my perspective, no.
Yeah, no, a person that makes their decision, that's their decision. But the truth is, everybody on this planet has all type of thoughts. They just have to control their thoughts. Like, you can control your thoughts easy. Like, I know for a fact I done seen gay shit on TV, and I done got irritated. Like, bro, why is they putting this on TV? Did I eternalize it and start thinking about this gay shit? No. But when it flashed behind the TV, guess what happened? Images got thrown into my fucking subconscious. That happened. So
Yeah, but you're not naturally. You
have
naturally.
I ever no, listen to what I'm saying. So have I ever visually seen two men doing some homosexual shit? Yes. Has those images ever came through my head? Yes. So that means that it can happen to anybody. That's not the issue. Is you having control over your thoughts and where you take your mind to and what you allow yourself to process as information that's useful or not. That's what you have to do. Like, you see two old people kissing and having sex, you're not gonna be like, oh man, that's what's up. That shit is amazing. No, you're not. You're gonna be like, this is crazy, grandma. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is just what it is. We have to use our minds, and our minds are telling us like, hey, you have full self-control to control your thoughts and not, take in what other people are trying to project onto you. So
Right, but
yeah,
without those projections, without that imagery that you're saying being forced into the subconscious mind, you naturally you don't have those thoughts of men, I'm assuming, right?
yeah, because there wouldn't be no reason for me to have it. That's the whole point.
Right, so that's what I'm saying. So there's no internal battle for
No, but
you.
that's
You
so.
naturally as a
Let me make no.
heterosexual.
But let me explain something to you too, brother. The thing is, I didn't never was attracted to women until I seen the fucking I seen a porno on the TV and I seen a girl naked. I'm like, oh, she cute. You know what I'm saying? Not cute. I didn't know what the word was. I'm like, oh, she naked lady. Like, you know what I'm saying? That energy. My mind was provoked early too. So again, a lot of my influence, and not just that. Like I had a stepdad. Like I remember when I first really started paying attention to fat booties. My stepdad was like, hey man, you know you because I guess he thought he found himself trying to have this like this talk with me or whatever about sex, and like he was like, yeah, you like fat booties? I like fat booties. You know what I'm saying? Whatever this nigga was on, but he was
Right,
trying to
right.
tell me something, and then I'm like, do I like fat booties? Is that what man's supposed to like, fat booties? And I'm thinking in my head like, okay, well, you know, and I started looking at what fat booties was about. Then I started for some reason hearing more about fat booties. I'm like, damn, fat booties must be a thing. And I'm sorry I keep saying it like that, but it's just funny
You right?
that
Are
that's
you
really
saying it
what it
like
is.
that?
Because it's just funny though.
That's a little
Because
extra. That's a little
no,
much.
no, because that's what it is though. It's just that's how
Right,
it works though.
right.
It really works like subconsciously when something gets thrown into your head, you start to process it and it starts to become part of your thinking. And then you start to internalize it. Like that's why when you first hear about a car, like if you get a new car, you know what I'm saying, or if your parents got a car or something like that, like whatever, you start seeing that car so much more. Matter of fact, when I first started working at Chrysler and we was building the Dodge Ram trucks, every time I seen a Dodge Ram truck, I was like, man, that's crazy. I build them, you know what I'm saying, and it became this thing I was internalizing because I was part of that. You know what I'm saying? Because I was thinking about it. You know what I'm saying? I had it on my mind. So that's all it is, bro.
Attracted to women until you started seeing pornography. I mean, it's based off of personal experience, right? Because I mean, you can have another heterosexual man in the same space that I'll tell you. As soon as he came out the fucking coochie, he knew for a fact that he was a straight man. As soon as he learned how to walk, you see what I'm saying? So you
Yeah,
know,
no, I
it's
don't know
still a
who
little.
that was.
I mean, but there's plenty of men that will tell
Yeah,
you
cause
that. I
they
mean, if you
liars. Niggas
if
be lying. Niggas be
so you
lying.
so but so you saying that when we come out, when we're born, we have no type of like we don't know what the fuck we like? Is that
No,
what you're saying?
it's not. It's not that you don't know what you like. You like everything. The problem is that you're loving. You're love. You and again, like if you have a father, you know what I'm saying. You're gonna love your father. You're gonna like, ah, father, you know,
Man, you do
hey,
not
dad.
like
No,
everything when you come out the
no.
coochie.
Listen. Hold on. I need people to understand this. No, you don't like bright ass lights in your eyes. You don't like to be hungry. You don't like to be uncomfortable. You don't like strangers. You know what I'm saying? And you really don't like the person that the first person you see. That's the first person you really get comfortable with. To be honest with you, so there's a lot of understandings when it comes to the psyche of babies. They have a different way of understanding things because they're pure. They're pure. They have not yet been exposed to nothing.
But man, we're talking about when you can remember from the time that you're able to walk to when you actually can start having memory. You do have some things that you like and dislike, hence the reason why in kindergarten and preschool, when it comes down to certain things, like I remember we had like Valentine's Day to where, you know, you would buy stuff for your Valentine, like a little girl or little boy that you like. People know what they like. People know what they like when they're able to
No,
remember
no,
and they have.
you're talking about once we develop into certain things. Like for example, I never forget my first girlfriend. It was this white girl I had in my class, and like she was really nice. And then we used to hold hands on our way to go to the office in the morning because the teacher used to send us to the office to do certain things. She had picked certain people and stuff like that, and then me and my girlfriend would walk. You know what I'm saying? And then we also used to sleep in the same little we would try to sneak by each other in the little nap thing and stuff like that and all that good stuff. So yes, bro, I understand what you're saying, but that was after I've developed certain understandings like that has happened through my life. I learned like it was weird stuff that happened to me. So I have a different way of thinking, but I understand and then my memory is so great. I remember everything almost, bro. Like I remember when I remember everything, bro. Like I don't even know how to explain. I remember so
I
much.
remember stuff
So
very young too.
yeah, no, I'm talking about. I remember like all the way back to like you know what
Oh,
can
just
I
throughout your life, throughout your whole course of your life, you remember a lot of
no like
details.
I'm talking about no being a baby
Oh, okay,
like
okay.
being a baby like not being a baby but being like at least I'd say 2
Two.
years old 2 years old. I remember being like 2 years old and I probably remember being 1 year old for real, but you know the whole thing I remember uh just a lot of stuff happened to like my okay, I'm gonna tell you all this story, right?
Hmm.
My my uncle, he was holding me up and this nigga I was a baby. And I remember this whole scene. I remember this whole scene. This nigga's holding me up and like, yeah, nephew, the ceiling fan was at the top and this nigga held me up too high and the ceiling fan hit my head and I started crying like a motherfucker. This nigga like hurt me bad right there. I remember that. I remember things that was going on around that time. I remember how my mama got mad at him. I remember everything. So like that's how, and I probably was one at that time.
If a man told me he chose to be straight and he wants to marry me, I think I would hesitate because what do you mean you chose it? It ain't no choice. Either you are or you aren't. So that was just my comment, me just listening to y'all and thinking about things.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. If a person is gay, is because they chose to be gay because of the things that they have learned and tapped into. If a person wants is straight, they choose to be straight because of the things that they learned and tapped into. So now that's why people say, "Oh, well, is it good or bad?" Yeah, it's like a person's choice is only based on the everything that results. If you see the life of a man that gets with a woman versus the life of a man that gets with another man, we have to have comparison stories. The most successful men in the world, they have women.
I I thought it would be important to remind you the scripture again because we got those religious people who are watching me who say, well, Pastor Miles is getting into legalism. Pastor Miles getting, he's moving backward into law, the bondage of law. The Holy Ghost has delivered us from the law, and we are free from law. And, I'm under grace, and grace has set me free. And we got folks who only preach grace, 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 grace. And grace has become a disgrace. Let's read what the Apostle Paul says about this danger of grace. Paul says, Galatians chapter 5, verse 13, you, my brothers, you were called to be free, but do not use your freedom to indulge in sinful nature. I'm forgiven, yeah, but walk right. He set me free to do right. Praise the Lord, now walk right. Thank God for grace to live right. Look at the last part. He says, rather serve one another in love. The entire law is summed up in this one. He says, love your neighbor as yourself. Don't use your freedom to indulge in the breaking of law. Matter of fact, some of y'all still don't get it. So First Peter, now Peter learned this very well. First Peter chapter 2, verse 15. Peter says, 16 rather. He says, live as free men. Everybody say, praise the Lord. Say it loud, praise the Lord. Boy, we love freedom. Hey, I'm free. Grace has set me free. Read the next part. But do not use your freedom as a cover-up for evil. Now we got two different apostles speaking. And one of them we call the apostle of grace. Let me tell you something. Paul was apostle of law too. He was against ritual religious law that put men in bondage, but he never spoke against the laws of God.
So are you saying that gay men or two gay women cannot have that same type of successful compatible relationship?
What I'm saying
Because
is that we don't have any examples.
We don't have examples because the media, which is very, very strong enticing propaganda, they want to display certain type of groups of people into certain groups of right? Like, how they, when it comes down to, the welfare system, such as like food stamps, WIC, they want to target or make it seem as though black people are the only ones that's on there, when in all actuality, there's more races of white people that are actually on welfare than any other groups of people. But it's stigmatized for you to think that black people are the only one that's getting free reduced lunch in the school system, that black people are the only ones that are getting, some type of free health care. Like, there are a very strong number of gay relationships that are going successfully and that are in marriages. However, society does not want that to be known. They want gay people to be looked at and trans people to be over fucking sexual. We have hookups on a Monday and we'll hook up with somebody else on a fucking Tuesday and a Wednesday and a Thursday. They wanted just to have this idea that we're just hypersexual beings with no type of contribution to society. So again, and even the ones that you did mention, Beyonce and Jay-Z, oh, we can talk about that because it's rumored that literally Jay-Z has been cheating on her, hence the reason why there was that video footage of Solange going upside his head in the elevator, but neither one came out and actually talked about it. So a lot of these relationships that we look at that are supposed to be ideal to society, we only know what they portray to the media. We don't actually know what's going on in these people's bedrooms. We don't know if they're sexually pleasing each other. We don't know if they have effective communication. Anybody can make shit look good on social media. Anybody can make shit. You see what I'm saying? So we kind of have to be very, very careful when we use those for examples because it may not be what we think that it is on the forefront. I've been in personal relationships to where we have portrayed something, but it was held behind closed doors. But we know for a fact we didn't want society to know shit. You know?
And also, I'll be
Can I
hesitant.
say something? I'm sorry.
Yeah. Go ahead.
And I'll pass it right to you, Ben. I would be hesitant for man's like, oh, I could choose, because I would think, oh, you could choose. That means you could choose back and forth. You could be gay Monday,
Exactly.
straight Tuesday. So I'm not going for this whole choice thing. And I'm just talking about me personally, because I didn't choose to be heterosexual. I remember telling my dad I was going to marry Freddie Boom Boom Washington from Welcome Back Carter. And he said, my dad said, you can't marry him. He's my age. You know, this is syndication. This show is way old. So nobody told me to go get a man. Yeah, I see my mom and dad together and other couples, but that was deep inside me. I cannot
Mm-hmm.
choose to be a lesbian. I don't care if Oprah knocks on my door saying, be a lesbian. I can't choose to be a lesbian. So how can you choose to be gay or how can you choose to be straight
Because Tanika,
or
I can't just wake
bisexual?
up tomorrow and just go date a female, and it should be
Well, hold
successful.
on, but
No.
Prince, let
Oh,
Van
let
Asher tap
Van. I'm
in though.
sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Go
go
ahead.
ahead.
With me, when I look at like the homosexual society, it's heavy in my family. Nevertheless, I exude out the love towards them, like that real love, and I don't really judge them. But in the back of their mind, they know I don't accept it. It's no different from a mother that doesn't accept his son being a drug dealer out there, but she got open arms. It's kind of in that aspect. Like my cousin, he's a guidance counselor. He's very successful. He makes a living and things like that. But we don't have static, because we have differences, right? So with that being said, it's like I wanna like for me when I was a child. I was molested by a woman when she was 15 and I was like 5. And from being molested by her, I instantly became mannish, which means by the time of 5, I knew what titties was and the private part was at 5, just by the living standards around me. My aunt at the time was 16, and she used to bring me in her restroom and ask me while she was taking a shower, "What's this?" And I'll be like, "That's a titty." Or "What's this?" I said, "Well, that's a vagina," and all that. And they'll look at it as being funny. She was 16, being immature, and she just thought it was just mind blowing that I knew what all that stuff was. But they didn't know that I was molested. I didn't tell them that I was molested until I was like almost 16, 17 years old. And they thought I was lying the whole time. You wasn't molested. I said, yes, I was. I didn't know what it was back then, but I figured it out.
Some people been taken advantage of by certain people, and it has given them a bad image of women or a bad image of man or whatever. And so now a man might not want to be with a woman, or a woman might not want to be with a man because they have a different perspective of men or a different perspective of women based on something that they experience in their personal life.
What do you think about these men? I'm talking about real warrior street type of dudes that's getting in and out of prison that has these type of action behaviors, but they don't hold any type of flamboyant outer appearance characteristics as someone that we can obviously see that may have that, like Prince or something. Prince looks gay, but you don't know. He probably love women, but the way you see you'll be deceived. But we talking about real Damon, big dudes, muscular dudes that has these sexual desires, but in the back of their mind, they think that they're still heterosexual, and this goes on in their prison, so to speak.
Wait a minute. You said I look gay? What?
When it comes to people that don't look like they are gay, then
Mm-hmm.
you got people that might look like what you would call somebody like, oh, he look like he's gay. that exists. And so the concept is like, what about it?
like a
Like, I,
metrosexual like type of shit.
but what is the question though? Is the point?
What do you like? How can that apply to what we're talking about now? Like when you say it's homosexual mental disorder, when you got those men in jail, that man, it's not like they talk about it now on
Yeah,
YouTube. You
because
got you
being
got
gay has
news.
nothing to do with your like mannerisms. That's just something that's extra that people sometimes have. Some people have, like, because for example, if you grow up around all women and you always around women doing women's type stuff all the time, you could be influenced by that and adopt some of those qualities as your own. But that's
Yeah.
just because that's how you was born and raised. You know what I'm saying? But you don't, like, for example, brother Prince said, Prince, the artist Prince. I never knew he was
Oh,
gay
my
or
bad,
even said
Prince. I
anything
was I
about
was
being
actually talking about Prince, the artist. I wasn't talking about you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was like, what the hell?
No, I'm crying. I had to. I just.
Like, what the
I know.
fuck?
I did just notice that your name was Prince. And Prince. We was talking about Prince earlier, but like, yeah, the Prince, that we was talking about, like the artist Prince. He.
Mhm.
I never heard him about him being gay at all. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know who said,
So
like.
yeah, Prince, and my mom. Well, I talked to her about that too. So he was a heterosexual man, but he was very comfortable in his feminine energy. He had a lot of feminine energy, but that's on the forefront, right? Like that's what he presents to you. But sexually, he was only attracted to females, but he still had that, what they call it. It's kind of called androgynous or flamboyant, right? Like these are men
No,
that.
but that's no, but that's what I was just explaining. Like, you know
Uh-huh.
what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
A person that's born and raised certain ways with certain qualities, that doesn't mean that they're gonna choose to be with women. That because their mindset still can be on wanting to be with a. I mean, my bad, choose to be with men because their mindset could be still wanting to be with a woman. So that means
Right.
like it's a choice. And when you got people that's like that is like Prince that was raised around a lot of women and probably grew up doing a lot of things that was like around women and developing certain type of female qualities or whatever that you can see. Those there's people that's just like that that's not gay. They're not
That's
choosing to
what I
be
was
gay.
getting at. That's what I was trying to. That's my point. Thank you for helping me. Like now flip that on a masculine man that looks like the way his way of moving. Oh, he looks like he'll deal with women. But the reality is, you got men that's in gangs. You got men that's in these streets that do these things behind closed doors. But you'll see them and they got rags tied around their neck, and nevertheless they warriors. They'll knock you out. They'll do all the manly things. But behind closed doors, that's something you will never see.
But see, that's why I tell people all the time, you have to please do not get in your mindset of what gay looks like, right? Because literally, the guys that I've entertained doctors, I've entertained dudes that have been in the street, like have been in gangs. Will I ever disclose what hell the fuck no for particular reasons? But there are a lot of men that are in this type of life that literally have this forefront of masculinity, alphaness. You would think that they like, I typically, because the whole reason why I am what I am is because I'm attracted to masculinity. If I was attracted to something feminine, I'll just go back to a female. But because I'm attracted to masculinity, that's all I really deal with. Like I deal with guys that looked and act like men. And that was one of the things that my mother came around. She was like, I really don't have a problem with you, just being true to who you are. Because she said there's a lot of men that,
You, I can,
oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, Prince. I know some women that got some masculine energy that can put you in your place.
Right. And she told me verbatimly, she said, I'm gonna love you regardless. You always, you excelled through school. You did everything I needed you to do. She said, but if you are going to date men, I need you to date men that look and act like men. I don't want you to walk around here with nothing fucking feminine. I had to respect that. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, and that's where our medium was. She was just like, I'm gonna love you regardless. I don't really give a fuck. Because you did everything right as a child. You were the only child. You didn't have really much of a support system, but you excelled through anybody in the family. But you are going to date a man that look and act like a man. So that's all I've been really dealing with. So I tell people all the time, and I'm gonna land my plane, please do not have it in your mindset of what gay look like, because it's a lot of hood ass niggas I have dealt with. Because I'm a hood rat at heart. I'm very intellectual, but I can turn that shit on real quick. But it's a lot of men that you would think, you would swear up and down, oh, that's a heterosexual man, and they may or may not have a boyfriend. Just keeping it a buck.
It's scary. It's really scary at times. And I don't think that homosexuality is a mental disorder. I just want to answer the topic. I think that the disorder comes with the sexual promiscuity, because when I did a little research and I learned that more than 50% of hetero men love to watch, like, their subscribers to gay porn, then
Trans.
I'm like, this is a little more deeper than homosexuality. Like, a lot of them like the type of porn that the man is dominating, and so you see a lot of men that are fixated and obsessed with dominating over women. And I can tell, I'm like, you have definitely the spirit of someone that deals with men. Like, it's not even about the vessel. It's not about the fact that it appears as a man or a woman. It's about domination, control, et cetera, et cetera. And this is why men in prison are able to basically convince themselves that the vessel that may seem a little more feminine, that it's a woman. Like, psychologically, they can convince themselves of that. So I don't even think that it's like homosexuality that is the mental disorder, because that's a preference. People, I think it's the drive and the lust that drives you to just make decisions that are beyond your physical control. I think that's where it becomes a disorder, because people are like driven by this control, driven by like putting a man down or a woman down. They're driven by these lusts and they can't control them. So I think that's where the disorder comes in. But who you sleep with, yeah, I just think that's a preference.
No, see, the problem that I have is that people are ignoring the fact that everything is based on preference. You feel me? And your preference is built up by your experiences and what you're taught and what you're raised around, and how you know what I'm saying. Just in general, your culture. You know what I'm saying. So if you have a parent and your parent is always buying the same type of foods, you're gonna get used to certain type of foods. And when you go around other type of foods or experience other type of foods, you're not gonna have like this sense of comfort there. You're gonna be a little bit because you're uncomfortable because you're used to something else. And so, based on uh how you're raised, you might not even be raised to be thinking about relationships or nothing like that. And then something can come into your face, and somebody can make a pass at you. That, so, say for example, somebody that's a young boy that's gay, make a pass at another young boy that not gay or something like that, and then that boy don't know what to expect about that or something like that, and that boy is confused on his feelings because he don't even understand what just happened in that moment. And if that thought lingers there long enough, you don't know what that could do. Because there's stories of people telling you about these same situations that exist all over the internet, all over just in books. You can read books about people that's talking about these concepts. Just understanding how a person takes in information, processes it, and then says, okay, this is who I am. That's how thoughts are formed. Like everything you eat, everything that you do, like activities, sports, everything is based on programming. Nobody just is born loving basketball. But LeBron James was not born a professional NBA player or the greatest of all time. He was programmed to be that way. So that's how I feel.
Yeah, because I agree with that because I always bring this up, but in other rooms too, like there's something called the forbidden experiment, and it's forbidden because they had made children from birth isolated so that they can see if these traits that people have, humanly traits, are shown through them. And most of the children, they actually do die because they are isolated. They are given food, water, and stuff like that, but they are not given any human interaction. And these children do not express anything that people say happens innately or happens from birth. So the nature versus nurture thing with this experiment that scientists have done, and also previous emperors or kings or whatever, they did it too. Um, they shown that humans don't actually show anything if they are not taught.
That's facts.
Well, this is the thing. Has anybody read the Gay Manifesto? Because I do believe it's a mental disorder. I think these people are nuts. I think they've been
I'm
programmed to be
crying.
just like how you said just now.
How you gonna just
Yeah,
come in and
they're
just
nuts.
start attacking?
Nah, because they're nuts. What man growing up as a man it's usually either a product of single mother household or molestation as a child. One of the two. And this is why they have the buck breaking facilities. This is why Biden made so many buck breaking facilities. So as soon as the men come out of jail, they're going back to your neighborhood trying to have sex with kids. This is why we got so many little gay kids running around the place. But
Well, I've known a lot of gay men that grow up in two-parent households, but then when we think about how much the father is working and how much time he actually gets to spend with his son, then the argument is kind of tainted because a lot of moms are doing the most by themselves anyway with the dad in the house.
right, but the dad's in the house. The dad's
Exactly.
bringing
And it's
bringing the
not
provision.
stopping the son from being exposed, like mine was saying, the exposure to whatever they're watching, whatever they're listening to. It's not stopping them from being exposed to stuff if the parent is not an active, present parent.
But the
So,
percentage of that will be more within a single mother household who provides more time with the television because she has no time for the kids than with a regular nuclear family, right?
and I don't disagree with that. I'm just saying that it's not a monolith. So it's not because they're in a single parent household they're more likely to be gay because you can have two parents in a household and it still be a single parent household because of the type of society we live in and how people have to work and provide and things of that nature. Like,
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying because no, you definitely just because a person grows up with just a mother does not mean that they're not gonna be attracted to women or tapped in with women based on other experiences, like other friends that they have around them, and you know what I'm saying, like, because that's another big influence. Your friends, like if you grow up and you go to school and you get a certain type of group of friends that you hang around, your thought process starts to develop towards what they be on. You know what I'm saying? And to be honest with you, I'm gonna be real. Like some of the gay people that I've met in my life, they have a whole different type of like things that they interested in anyway. Like, you know what I'm saying? They interested in things that's not really more so like they not really into sports like that. You know what I'm saying? I was into like Dragon Ball Z a lot too. You know what I'm saying? A lot of gay boys around the time I was like younger, they didn't like that type of stuff. They they was talking to the girls about girl stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like you seen gay boys when you was younger. You just didn't see them a lot. 'Cause, like, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna say they was gay because they probably didn't turn out gay later. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, but I'm just saying you can see like boys that probably was like more into girly stuff.
I know 3 gay kids when I was growing up, and I have a few family members who are gay as well. But I know that they've been molested. You know, out of the 3, I know 2 for sure have become gay. One was molested at around the age of 9 or 10, and I think the other one, I don't know what happened with him. He don't tell the story, but I think something's a little weird there. But for the most part, it's usually molestation within your society. Nobody usually just becomes gay because they're hanging with their friends. If I'm hanging with some friends, even the ones we saw growing up, either they came like growing up with a grandmother or something was always a little off. They usually came from a single mother society or a household. That's what I've consistently seen. I only know one lesbian that became a lesbian, and her father was a pastor. And that's because of college, because college switches their mind more than anything else.
And I was gonna say also the man that left. I wanted to say this to him. I wanted to ask him because he was talking about his experiences with his parents. And how they were all like, "Oh no, gay people will go to hell and stuff," and that could be traumatizing too. Hearing that all the time when something is gay brought up or something, and then you're like told, "Oh, them people going to hell," all of this stuff. This those efforts can be a double-edged sword. You can be telling your person, your child, not to be gay and saying all these bad things about them, and then they can turn out to be that way because it's trauma in that whole situation that is like a replay of this, and then the gay thing is stuck in their mind. And it ties back to what you were saying, mine, about like how you didn't know about the cars, like when you were at Chrysler, like as soon as you worked at the Chrysler, then you started seeing more Chryslers cars. And I feel like until you don't know something, like you don't know it in your head, and then when somebody makes it known, like the word known, then you start seeing the word, or you start seeing more of it because you don't know what it is. Like you could ignore it. It's not like you ignoring it, but you're not seeing it because you don't know the word. So if you don't know what the color blue is, or what it looks like, you won't see anything that's blue because you don't know that it's blue. You don't know what it looks like. But as soon as somebody say, "Oh, this is blue," and this is the color, and this is what it looked like. Now you're seeing blue everywhere because you're aware that it's blue now. So that's why I think how the world is now a little bit.
Bro, I think we got taken over by Islam. I think we got Bazabachi in our societies. I think we got little boys that probably dancing for old men and they getting molested after. I think that's really what's happening. I think it's been
Yeah,
happening since.
but I want to say this though, and I'm gonna be real. Like there's into what a lady just said. Like there's a lot that goes into that. You know what I'm saying? Like the more that somebody puts something into your mindset to make you look at something or observe something or pay attention to something, you start putting your mind in or think about it, or you know what I'm saying, you gain even more ideas of that. So just a little small piece of idea something is not whatever is whatever. But then if a person is like all the time like throwing something like that out to you, as you start to develop more and more ideas, those ideas, these are seeds being planted, and these seeds start growing, and then they start throwing off your mind, and you can start fighting thoughts that you didn't even realize that you was that was being created in your mind because of things that you have been seeing, hearing, or being exposed to. So like, and people would just ignore it and say, "No, that's not why I'm gay." That could be why you're gay. But
that was good finisher. That could be right.
I'm just
It
saying.
sounded like the ending of a monologue, and that could be why you're gay. But I actually came off mic to say something, but the way you said that was really poetic. But I honestly can see that I can't tell these days when I actually get like uh behind closed doors and then the people who are gay are revealed to be gay. This is when I took my hand out of the fight. You cannot tell these days. And like y'all are saying, it's like predictive programming. You just plant the seed in their mind and watch it grow. And then when it's people who continue to deny a certain desire that has grown, they're angry. So a lot of people are gay and angry at the same time. They're angry at themselves for being gay, but they can't control the desire of being gay. And this is why I said it's not homosexuality specifically, because a lot of proclaimed straight men behave this way. They're angry because they have desires toward the same sex. They carry out these desires in secret, but then they bash gay people in public. And it's just like anybody who's obsessed with this topic that much. Like I had somebody who always was just talking about gay men, gay men. And the day I told him, you must be gay, he stopped talking about it around me. I'm like, no obsession with this topic is a lack of experience or desire. Nobody who's not gay is sitting around thinking about gayness all day and then talking about it every gay person they
You
meet. Oh
one
my
of
God.
them, eh? I'm
Yeah,
crying.
oh, absolutely not. My sister's gay. I have nothing. I have no
No, I'm
problem with
talking
gay
about you one of
people.
them. You one of them people, like, cause I had a whole war against these type of women. Like every time, like something would come up where like there was like the gay agenda, I used to call it, where they used to like.
Yeah. Look. It's game time, the same time for me to take over. Move your face over, cause it's really about to drop as we make it to the top. Mind made, don't stop, even on red. Couple lame thoughts wanna text me now. I just leave them on red, but I got a bad one now, so I don't even got no time. I'm not God, I just do what she says, and it's always right. Thankful for the graces, I'm always high. They always lie, but wonder why they always drop. I gotta pray every day, blessing something that I always got. She always shy, but she sees my eyes and open up, cause I'm always mine. But listen, I always grind and always find. Thanks to the Most High, who's always fly. In my dreams, I always fly. Sometimes I'll always die, come back and always shine. Just keep faith and it'll all be fine. All in time, it's gon' all come together. They done lost their mind, but it's all for the better. Did the world as guys, God say me feeling bitter, but I ain't tryna hear it, nigga. All in time, it's gon' all come together. They done lost their minds, but it's all for the better. Did the world as guys, God say me feeling bitter, but I ain't tryna hear it, nigga. In this world, it's God's way or no way, but your way got us lost, hoping for snow days, so we don't gotta go slave. No case being won without the law, so don't get caught and fall in that shooting and don't know your constitution. Study hard, it's the solution. Forget being more, just strive for more. I was deprived before, overcame and strive for more. All while Satan's kids was making file reports. Luckily I wasn't married, she would've filed divorce. But now, of course, I'm clean, fresh, white tee, Levi jeans, humble like a king. Things
like I seen this girl, this young 13-year-old, 12-year-old girl who was wearing a shirt like I'm part of the LGBT. No, I'm lying. She wasn't even that old. She was like 9 or 10, and she was talking about I'm part of the LGBTQI community. And I'm like, how does this girl even know what that is, bro? Like, why are y'all promoting this? And then here come all these women. You must be gay. You was probably gay because don't know straight men talk about this. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, bro, if y'all don't go with that shit, like people, and go ahead, you can finish. And I just wanted to point that out though, that is not true. Like, people,
I'm not talking
like
about that.
we're not just
So
thinking about it.
I acknowledge the agenda. I mean, I've done research on it. There's definitely agenda. I mean, it's even biochemical warfare in regards to the agenda. So I'm with you on that. I'm talking about the obsession. Every gay man that you pass, you should not have a comment about his clothes, his hairline, him being gay, et cetera, et cetera. That's an obsession. And I was literally hanging with somebody, and every gay man he's seen, he's literally like pointing out everything from his head to his toe and then bashing for it. And I'm like, bro, you should not be that obsessed. Now, showing this stuff to kids, et cetera, I'm not with that. But I know an obsession when I see one. I'm like, there's no reason you should be this obsessed. Like, I'm not obsessed. Even I love black men. I mean, especially when they walk around with their little beards and everything. But I don't go around criticizing everything they wear and their haircut, et cetera, because I'm not that obsessed. I mean, I love the look, you know what I'm saying? Love a little smell, a little, But anyways, I ain't sitting there. Oh, bang! I done analyze this man A to Z. His haircut ain't right, but his jeans nice, but his sneakers. No, because that's not all that's in my mind. So I'm saying when it becomes an obsession, that's the mental
Or
disorder,
not,
and
yeah,
you should probably get
but
checked.
like Nick, and I think that's gay in like in general too, like because like even niggas that claim that they straight do that to niggas
Exactly.
that's like they do it to niggas that's not gay. They just be like, man, look at this nigga shoes, bro, or that nigga pants. He got on them damn FUBU pants. Like, bro, why are you? You don't have to. What is you?
That-
What is what he got on? How's it affecting you? You feel me? I can understand if like it was a girl, like, bro, I don't know, bro. Her jeans got too many holes in them or something like that. I ain't really trying to rock with her like that. But these niggas, bro, you don't have to. You know what I'm saying? You not doing nothing with this nigga. What is you worried about what he got on for? Like that's weird energy for sure. But yeah, that exists for sure.
you can't hide those hidden desires. You can't hide what's in your mind. And if you having casual conversation, if you're not a person that pay attention to everything, you will literally be sitting like you ain't gonna call them out all the time, but you be sitting there like, dang. I mean, I noticed it happened once. I let it slide, but this is like a regular thing. Like, why are you obsessed with
But I you
experiencing?
said something too though. Like I
It'd
don't
be
think
a little
nobody
off.
mad. No, listen, I'm gonna say this. I don't think nobody mad that they like. So if you, cause you, I can hear it kind of in your voice. Hey, like if you know anybody that's saying that they're not gay, don't be trying to project that onto them people. Cause like it sounds like you would tell a nigga he gay and he's like, bro, I'm
Oh,
not gay.
absolutely.
I'm
Like,
crying.
bro, you're gay.
But
Like, get out of here.
that's part of the problem. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, when a person projects their personal feelings onto a person, it causes even more confusions and thoughts.
Not when
Like a
you're
nigga
not gay.
arguing with
When
himself.
you're not gay, that does
Yeah,
nothing to you.
no. That's what I'm saying is even from a young age, like people are not grown yet. It doesn't like people are not mentally adults. They are still kids, and kids are easily influenced. They doubt themselves and stuff like that. You feel me? They don't really know themselves fully, and it's a lot of adults. Majority of the adults in the world they are still kids. I don't care how you feel about it, but that's just the case, and
I agree.
they need to be treated as such. You feel me? So they should
But
up the requirement to be an adult. Go ahead.
isn't the real problem that every time she goes out with this man, he's seeing a bunch of homosexuals? Like, why we got so many homosexuals in our
Oh
society in the
my
first
God.
place? Now, what are they contributing to the society? What do they do? They're not taking the
Well,
garbage
They
out the
well,
are
house,
that's the
people. They
thing. No,
contribute
no,
to
don't say that. Hold on.
society.
You can't say. Wait. We
but
can't
they're
say
not
that.
contributing
Wait,
people.
Midas. Hold on. We can't say that because first off, people like to be honest with you, there could have been so many gay people that has did great things in the history that we don't even know was gay, because we don't know that who was gay. There's people that's probably was gay and we don't even know that they were gay.
All
So
the gay
that
ones I
means
know have sold us off to Lyndon B. Johnson. They've destroyed black communities since the 1960s,
who
even
are
though
you
we were at the
talking
top
about?
in the
No.
1950s.
You're doing
I'm
too.
talking about Martin Luther King Jr.,
I'm
who was a
crying. You
homosexual. I'm talking about
are
Malcolm X, who was a gay prostitute.
Ooh.
It's
bro.
time to get rid of these idols, these gay
What?
leaders. And you
Man,
know
that's
what?
What?
funny as
Yvette
hell.
Carnell, she's a lesbian. I'm tired of these gay
He got
leaders.
me
All they
stuck a
doing is
little
leading you to
bit.
Dog,
castration.
Yeah,
what
but
is
like
going
sometimes
on,
doing
Midas?
that, sometimes doing that and exposing those things can cause worse harm.
No, but no, he's saying things that might not even be true. Like he said that Malcolm X was a gay prostitute. What? Is that what you said?
Yeah,
They
gay
did
prostitute.
depict him
And
as
when
a
he was on
prostitute, though.
tours,
They did.
he
They
used to
definitely
sneak into
did.
the room. That's why Elijah Muhammad made sure that he had to get a wife. Cause it was looking real funny among the congregation.
Here we go.
It's a small portion of the book, but they contend that the focus of Malcolm's potential same-sex relationship, which constitutes really only about 3 sentences in a 592-page book. And hardly constitutes a relationship, I would say. It's an incident which is actually described in the autobiography. It's ascribed to another person, but there is sufficient documentation that this actually happened to Malcolm when he was a young man in Boston. At loose ends and needing to make a living, and he was in the employ of a rich white man who asked him to perform. You can't even call them sexual favors. It was like spraying baby powder on him or something. It was just something
I'm crying.
stunningly innocuous, with no evidence and no insinuation and no implication that there was ever any similar repetition or inclination or behavior. But that's the page 23 killer fact that people decided to wave around. It's a part of who Malcolm was, and it would have been wrong to exclude it from the record. At the same time, he also tries to tell the truth about Malcolm's marriage to Betty. The Nation of Islam was an awful place to be a woman. It was unfriendly to them. It kept them bound up and out of power. And Malcolm himself was gone for most of their marriage. They had money problems. They owned nothing when after their house was firebombed, right before Malcolm was assassinated. They literally had no place to live. So it's not surprising that they had a rocky relationship. And again, it would have been incorrect not to portray the marriage for what it was. And I think that's one of the things that has gotten the family upset, because they hold to this image of the two angels, our mother and our father. Well, nobody's an angel. So again,
Okay, so that's crazy to me because now is so basically you was wrong. You're spreading wrong information. Was he was employed by he was broke and he was young. He was living in Boston and he was employed by some rich white man that told him to put baby powder and other little weird shit. Like told him to do
You
those
sure I
like
was
weird
wrong?
things.
You sure I was wrong?
Well,
Did
it
that
doesn't
sound to you
say
like
that
I
he
was
was
wrong?
gay,
Did
brother.
that sound to you like I was wrong?
Bro, it sounds like you
That
was
sounded to
wrong,
you like
bro.
I was wrong?
It sounds like you
Good
was wrong.
talking to you again, Mom Maid, man. You have a good one, brother.
You too,
But if
bro.
that sounded to you like I
Yeah,
was
yeah,
wrong,
yeah,
man,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
you gotta
I
work on
listened to
discernment,
the
man.
concept of what
Work
was
on
said,
discernment.
and it was this concept comes from 2 sentences out of a book, and the 2 sentences made it clear that he was working for some white man that had him do something like put baby powder on him.
Do some more research, bro. That don't sound like I
What
was in
I'm
that way.
saying is that
But do some
wrong?
more research.
Is that
All of them are
wrong
gay.
though, bro?
Yeah,
Is
all
that
of them are
wrong?
gay. All of them are gay.
No, I'm saying,
All
but
of our freaking
listen,
leaders are
bro. You
gay.
see how
How
you
is that
doing
right?
what you doing, bro? You're projecting.
They're
Because
gonna lead you
you
all to
don't have any
castration.
evidence
The
in the
liberation is
and I
from the
just went to
penis.
where the evidence comes from, and that little piece was not enough evidence to say he was gay.
There's multiple evidence of it,
Yeah,
bro.
plus it was something he did before the Nation of Islam saved his life. So
Right,
he was
but
he was
Do you think
saved. A lot
do
of
you
people
think
have the same
but no,
story.
but even
do you think
still, like that's not
homosexuality in
enough to
Islam
say
is
that
still
he
around?
was gay though.
No, not that he was
Do you think
gay, but if he did some things before people come to a higher power, they do some things. And it just is what it is. But he's not shy, or he wasn't shy about saying that the Nation of Islam saved his life or Allah saved his life. That's why he was going so hard for it, because he believed it and it gave him something greater to live for. So we're not gonna condemn him for his past before he came into the truth. We just gonna be glad that he came into the truth.
What was the truth if in the 1950s we were wealthy and rich and had lots of property and we were the major buying power? And then in the 1960s, they came around and we became a devastated nation with a much lower rate of nuclear family. What's the truth?
A lot of straight men be feeling some type of way that some homosexual men be in positions that they want to be in. It really be jealousy, low key. I'm not saying that's what you are having or experiencing, but I'm saying it do be projection of jealousy because a lot of, especially elevated titles, because America is so inclusive, a lot of gay men hold a lot of higher titles, and some men just be jealous. But they do contribute to society. I've been a witness of it. They're very intellectual. I'm not saying all of them, but you get what I'm saying. I've seen some that are very intellectual. They contribute, they work hard, and they love hard too. And so I think you need to not be on a hate train towards people who identify with being homosexual, because it really ain't gonna get nobody nowhere. Can't no one group destroy society. I don't think that's how society works.
But you say you did your research, so you must have read the Gay Manifesto
I know
from the
what
1970s,
the agenda is, but that is that.
and it shows exactly
Hold
what they're
on, but
doing.
that does not condemn the
Exactly what I'm saying.
individual who chose a lifestyle. That is
I already
governments
said
and
those people are
principalities and
brainwashed.
higher places having an agenda to use something to demonize people. So they're
So,
different.
so why are all of our leaders gay?
They are.
No, so
All,
I
this,
know lie.
all.
bro, listen, hold on, because this is,
We follow homosexuals,
bro,
and they're
listen,
leading you to
listen,
homosexuality
bro,
and
listen.
child predation.
It's
Everybody's
connected to
not gay,
population
Midas.
control, but it's not specific to just, oh, gay people are the horde of the earth. It all has to do with population
Bro,
control. If the same sex dating, then they not procreating with the opposite sex. It's the same down to contraceptives. If you read the documents released by the government, then you know that this thing is multi-layered, but it doesn't condemn people who want to engage in this lifestyle. It just speaks to the agenda.
I want to play some like this. I want to play this, but just going around saying everybody's gay, bro, like that's deep. Like everybody's not gay, bro, but that like there is people that's trying to push it. So, but let me hear. I want to play this. This is
I said all of our leaders are gay.
no,
Not
that's what I'm
everybody's
saying. I
gay.
don't know.
All of
None
our
of my
leaders are
leaders
gay.
are gay, but anyway,
Why people getting mad with Malcolm X? When I say
Malcolm
Malcolm X
X
was
wasn't
gay,
gay
homosexual.
either. You just made that up
You just
because
proved it,
somebody
bro.
that you heard. Listen, you
You
heard.
just proved it.
No, first of all, I just played a video that told us that the only type of evidence that exists that
Mm.
he could have had a gay relationship was it was two sentences out of a book that somebody wrote about him, where he was young, living in Boston, and he was owned by some white man that told him to put baby powder on him or something like that. That's not gay, bro. Like that's a little awkward and uncomfortable, but it's not gay, bro. Like it's not. He
He was a
wasn't
gay
gay.
prostitute, man. Like y'all need to
No,
get rid of this
you're
idolization.
taking no. Listen, bro. You're taking something that you just like I said. You said it out loud, and the
See,
thing
when the
about me
mass
is
media
I
gives you
fact
two
check.
sentences,
Listen, hold on, bro. Listen, I never heard that before, right? Until you said it. I immediately went to find some information, and I found a really dope video that exposed that there's two very educated women who actually read this same book. And the book is two sentences in this book that says that he was working for some rich white man in Boston when he was younger, and he had did some like weird acts of service towards a dude that the dude was paying him to do, and that one of them included putting baby powder on them and little nuances like that. That's what they said, and they said that it was no signs of anything sexual that occurred. So if this is something that for you to sit there and like hold this as like something that's a thing, it's throwing me a little bit. But I want to move on past that because I don't want to like let no like if
Martin Luther
anybody want to
King,
do more
David
research on it, hold
Weston.
on. Anybody that's
Hold
going
on.
to want to do anybody that's gonna do more research on that, they can do that on their time. That's fine. That's your business. But I'm not about to like do research on Malcolm X being gay because he wasn't. This is a video to kind of push the conversation along with Lil Nas X and Kevin Hart having a discussion with some other people. But this is funny because I seen the post that I told y'all about where Lil Nas X had seen a message from Sweetie that said, you know, that he was her crush, and that she thought he was so fine or something like that. And then he said he tweeted like, "Goodbye LGBTQ community. We had a nice run." Like he was leaving the LGBT community behind. So that happened too, and I thought it was like very funny. And I'm like, bro, if you serious, go be serious and stop being gay. Like that's what I ain't gonna lie, my mind went to that. But let's listen to this real quick. All that early success, you felt it was important to make an announcement recently. He said it was gay, so what? Yeah, what's the point? Why did he feel that was necessary? It's not about who cares. That's actually my question. Why do you feel it was necessary to come out and say that? It's not that like it's like being forced. It's just like knowing, like growing up, like I'm growing up to hate that. I'm not supposed to ever like this. Hate what? Hate what? Homosexuality, gay people. Come on now. Why are you gonna? If you're really from the hood, you know it's not some. So it's like for me, the cool dude with the song on top of everything to say this, any other time, like I'm doing this for attention in my eyes. But if you're doing this like while you're at the top, it's like for real, and it's like showing like it doesn't really like matter, I guess. Exactly, it doesn't. There it is. World and our generation, we get to listen to people. Today's time gives everybody the opportunity to go, I feel, I think, I this. You can't ignore it because then you're not of the people. Doesn't mean you have to change. You gotta understand and you have to acknowledge. So as a comedian, some choose to say, I hear you. And some choose to go, get the out of here. I'm gonna be me. The choice that overall I think eventually we're coming to is understanding. As a man, as a person of the people, I don't want to separate black, white, gays, non-gays, fat, skinny, global. How do I make all these people laugh? You got to get to a space to where you go, if my job is to make people happy, how am I doing it? And if I'm not doing it the way people think I should, how do I make sure people know that my gesture overall is to do that? Has these times that have changed your process in comedy? As a comedy? Are you more absolutely not, because I've grown as a comic. I've grown as a comic. I've never been a malicious comedian. It's always been to me and my family. So I've never been the guy to go, you man, white people. Oh my God, man, y'all, gay people, y'all gotta. I've never been that guy. It's always been about me, my family, my experiences. So it hasn't altered me, but I'm more conscious. Okay, what do y'all think about that?
Tune in to this episode of My Made TV featuring Vontavious.
So, you know what I'm saying, bro? Mom asked you, like, what you think the kids can do, you know what I'm saying, coming up to, have a better life than we had coming up, you know what I'm saying? Because you know how our shit was coming up. Shit, I don't know. That's a good question, dog. But real nigga shit, I say they need to stop listening to these rappers, though. You feel me? Ain't nothing wrong with rapping about it, you know what I'm saying? Because if you ask me, I feel like everybody boosted. Ain't nobody really cut like that. If you was, you would be locked up right now. You feel me? What? Me, I ain't the type of nigga that's gonna talk about shit like that. Drugs and all that, you feel me? Everybody, I done dipped and dabbed and all that shit, you feel me? What? But shit, nigga, they ain't how it is, you know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing wrong rapping about it, though, to be honest. I mean, but I feel like they need to be more strong-minded on shit like that, you know what I'm saying? What?
Mind Made. Thank you for tuning in.
And I'm gonna say just quickly, like, he has a great perspective when it comes to, hey, I'm not about to try to make y'all mad. I want to make y'all laugh. Like, how can I make y'all laugh? Because y'all sex life have nothing to do with me. I'm over here. So how do y'all feel? I had this conversation with somebody else too, but how do y'all feel about this?
What was the question? Should we deny people based on their sexual orientation? Is that what you're saying?
Should we deny people services or love because of their sexual preferences?
I mean, I guess it could be circumstantial. And that's just my opinion, because I don't know. I mean, I think that there's many gay people in the world that are very successful, and I don't shade them. I don't treat them any different, though I don't agree with their lifestyle and I don't agree with what they do at home. That's their business, and they're going to have to answer to that at the end of the day, not me, so it don't affect me personally. But if it were to affect maybe my children, um, if it were a healthcare or maybe in the school, right, where now we're implementing homosexuality and sexual education, and you're now teaching my child about that, and then maybe that's when I would voice it. But if it doesn't concern me and my family, do what you want to do, because you're gonna have to answer that at the end of the day, not me. I don't treat nobody different, and I hate that. If you have a certain moral compass or moral belief, then you get looked at as like you're a homophobic or this or that. Like, no, I have family that's gay. I have family, cousins very close to me. I have friends that I grew up with, you know what I'm saying? And I don't treat them no different. Now, if they ask me, I'm going to tell them the truth. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, and I'll throw some scripture at you, but that's all love, just because you invited that conversation. You know what I'm saying? But, that was kind of a long-winded answer, but that's just my opinion on it.
No, I get that. I get that 100%. Like you want to be able to like have friendships with families and stuff like that might have those experiences, but at the same time, you don't want to approve of it. And you want to make sure you're clear on where you stand at with it, even though you're like saying like, okay, I don't have nothing against you. That's what I was looking for too. Like it has to be some type of balance. Like when we're doing that, we're gonna have a lot of emotional projection in people that's like, oh, he's okay with people being gay. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, no, I'm not saying I have. This is what I'm saying. Like, I'm not gonna stop messing with you if I find out that you lied. I shouldn't mess with you if you lie. Like, I shouldn't, but I'm not gonna just leave you alone forever and never have friendship with you because you lie. You know what I'm saying? And I know for a fact you're not just probably lying that time. You probably go lie again. But guess what? I'm not gonna stop being your friend. But every time it comes up that you're lying, then I'm gonna make sure I hold you accountable for that and let you know, like, hey, you lying. That's not cool. That's wrong. And it shouldn't be no problem and no issue with that. So I do get that.
Yeah, this is Minister Michelle. How y'all doing today?
Good, sister. How you doing?
Good. Yeah, to the topic and probably to your question. First, let me say this. Everyone on planet Earth has the right to live, to move, to have their being. Everybody has the right to live their life, to work, to make their money, to maintain their posterity in life, period. Everybody has the right to do that, and that people will do. When it comes to how you're to live your life and particularly your sexuality, God sets the parameters for that, whether a person agrees with it or not. God sets the parameter. Yahweh sets the parameter for how men and women should express themselves, how they should come together. And from the very beginning, very beginning, the Bible says that man shall cleave unto his wife, the male and female, and they shall be one together. That is in a wholesome marriage relationship, period. Any other combination is not of God. You can do it if you want to. You can continue to live your life in that way, but you're going to have to answer to God at the end of the day. The Supreme Court, they can pass the
30
laws,
seconds,
the
sister.
movement.
A man who became a woman. So they claim. I think it says her name was Steve or something like that. And I'm watching this program now. Don't turn the TV off, okay? And I'm sitting there thinking, what is this? Let me read what it was. Verse 18. This is the Bible. This is exactly what you saw on CNN. It says, the wrath of God is already revealed against that. Men suppress the truth by their wickedness. You cut your penis off and call it a vagina. Now you know it ain't none, but you suppress the fact that it ain't none. You suppress the truth. The truth is you's a male, but you suppress it. You put some hormones and get a little bit of bubby, and now you're telling me you's a woman. You ain't no woman. Anybody with me here? They suppress the truth. The honest truth is I'm a male. What did I say? Oh, sorry. Boy, my Baytown stuff comes out sometime. Tell your neighbor, tell the truth. Let me tell you something. All my homosexual friends, I love you guys and girls, lesbians. But you are simply dishonest. If you want to have that kind of sex, just say so. But don't try to convince us to sanctify it, sanction it, and give it dignity. Just say that's what you want to do, that's all. If you want to use an exit as an entrance, just tell me the honest truth. Don't try to get me to dignify it, sanctify it, glorify it, and then make it legal. This is crazy. You're suppressing the truth.
As I said to many people before, the Supreme Court can agree with you, the government can agree with you, the president can agree with you, the movement can agree with you, your friends can agree with you, even your mom and daddy could agree with you. But at the end of the day, you're going to stand before the Lord God Almighty, and He is the great judge. And you got to think about that part. I yield my mic.
That's 100% facts, and I 100% agree with everything you just said. Especially the concept of like you have to hold yourself to a certain standard. Our job on this planet is being self-governed, and you as an individual know what's right, what's wrong, what's orderly. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes we go against it because sometimes we want to be rebels or we want to go against the order and stuff. So sometimes that's a big thing. But Chris, I know you wanted to tap in. You could tap in with your 2 minutes, brother, if you wanted to add to what you heard from her, or you want to add to the title of the room itself.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Bible definitely outlines how He would give us over to our lust and our desires. But I think one of the things that we don't always talk about is how our experiences contribute and express themselves in other people. People talk about gay people as if they're the problem. The way that I see it is that they are results of a much deeper problem. I wouldn't say that it is I wouldn't say that it is a mental disorder. I would say that it's emotional disorder because it's a particular way that you want to feel. And when children don't get the feelings that they need when they grow up, and when we make the environment easier for women to just have children without, a father in the home, or, or for fathers to do the same thing, we break the emotional incubator that God had ordained to socialize us into what a proper partner is supposed to look like, what problem-solving skills look like. The marriage for a child is a socialization process. So, but when you don't get your needs met, you try to go about getting your needs met in other ways. I always bring up this point that 80% of men in jail are fatherless, and crime has to do with poor impulse control. Now, some people have different ways that their emotions express themselves that may not be criminal, but are still driven by emotions. And the problem in society is that we've created other identities that are just not so. A thing is what it functions as. And this really started with white supremacy making the color of your skin mean something other than what it functions as. So now we're having a conversation of what is a woman. A woman is what it functions as. Once you pervert reality and you start assigning meaning to things that don't actually have any inherent meaning, you open up Pandora's box. What goes around comes around. And people say, well, as long as it doesn't affect my kids. Well, just like something that occurs in the environment and is discovered for the first time, people are going to teach you about the environment. So it does end up affecting your kids. We have to get away from this hyper individualized way of thinking about things. We live a shared social experience, and we have to be there for each other and help each other to develop in the way that we're supposed to. Because this whole idea of why are we calling a person a birthing parent when it comes to transgender people?
30
Well,
seconds.
a thing is what it functions as. We've had birthing people, people who want to be known as fathers who have kids, but they don't actually raise them. How are you a father if that's not what you function as? And there's a reason why you're supposed to be there. So, let's get to the cause and stop criminalizing what we believe to be the result, because to me that's just self-righteous.
Yeah, and the thing is, the cause though, overall, no matter how anybody personally feel about it, is the lack of love. It's the lack of self-love, truly. That's the part that I have to like be aware of. Like for example, as a man, um, there's a lot of things that I have had to deal with throughout my life. One of them was recognizing how to overcome my sadness as a kid, feeling like I couldn't do nothing when everybody else was doing stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because I used to have to stay at home and babysit my little brother and my two little sisters, you know, all summer long. You know what I'm saying? My mama and my stepdad both worked during the daytime, and like we couldn't do nothing. You know what I'm saying? And we had to wait till they got home to do anything. When they got home, we just still was limited to, you know what I'm saying? I just felt like I couldn't have a life. You know what I'm saying? That's something that I personally dealt with. You know what I'm saying? And that influenced me to have a certain way of looking at certain things. I felt more like I needed to have fun, or I felt like I was missing out on things and stuff like that. Other people who was able to do these things, they probably felt like they ain't had nothing to do at all. You know what I'm saying? But I did. I had something to do. I had my little sisters to play with, my little brother to play with. I had them to feed, make sure they was good, to watch TV with, laugh with, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I actually had a good time. But because I didn't like look at it at that time like that, but I did enjoy myself when I was with my little sisters and brother. You know what I'm saying? And that became something that I didn't appreciate though, for real. Because as I got older and realized like, okay, well, family is really all you really got. You know what I'm saying? And the people that's not in your immediate family, you don't know them like that. You know what I'm saying? You don't need to be around a lot of people just because you want to have fun or whatever the case may be. Everybody's not for you. Everybody's not your friend. And I had to also realize that just wanting to be involved in things is dangerous in itself, because why do you want to be involved in it? And it's going to be because somebody told you it's fun or somebody made you feel like it's this or whatever the case may be. It's not your own personal experience. But you can, and you don't have to, you can create your own experience. And my mother was very good at that. She was one of them people like, you could throw a party over here, or you could do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, we made something happen. You know what I'm saying? And so that helped me learn how to not try to fit in with people. You know what I'm saying? And other people didn't probably have that experience. So I'm just throwing that out there as a way to kind of recognize too, that a lot of this stems from us really not looking at how people portray us. I mean, how people portray our lives to be. You know what I'm saying? Some people want us to be sad about what's going on, and that's not what's actually happening. It's not really nothing bad happening around us, but our friends and family make it seem like we're not doing something. Like, oh yeah, you a virgin still? That's crazy. But I should look at it like, yes, I am a virgin still. I'm saving myself for the person that I'm gonna marry. You will probably get laughed at or whatever the case may be. But if you get laughed at, you know the type of environment you in. So that's it.
This is Minister Michelle again. Can I weigh in
Of
for a
course,
second?
sister. No, you can talk as much as you want. It's just 2 minute time frames. That's it.
Okay, I'll try to watch my time. The one thing we need to understand some basic things in that the spirit that is in this world, the wicked spirit, that evil spirit, that demonic spirit, the spirit of Satan that is in this world and his cohorts. And that's the thing we have to remember. The Bible tells us we don't fight flesh and blood, but we're fighting principalities. We're fighting wicked, evil dominions in the high places. And so once we understand that, then we can understand the rest. When we talk about anything that is a sin, and homosexuality is a sin, and there's other things, we're talking about a perverted spirit, that perversion, anything that is good, the enemy is going to try to pervert it. So when the gentleman talked about, or when you have this a mental disorder, it starts in the spirit first, and then it manifests itself in the emotions. It manifests itself mentally. It manifests itself psychologically. It manifests itself physically, but it's spiritual first. And when a person, be it a child, be an adult, and unbeknownst to a child, welcomes that spirit in, or that spirit comes into that person, then the problem starts to manifest itself. And so we have to be so careful about that perverted spirit that comes into people. It's spiritual first. That's the message I want to tell us, or want to lay the foundation for. It is spiritual first, and then it manifests itself in other areas of that individual. I yield the mic.
Yeah, I would agree with that. 80% of
Hey, hold on,
sexual
Chris.
abusers.
Chris, before you go, Chris, my bad. Danisha was trying to get in right before Minister Michelle, and I just wanted to let her get. She haven't spoke yet, brother. Then you can go right after her.
Thank you, Mai. So I just wanted to add another perspective to this. I do want to say that I do agree with Minister Michelle, as well as I believe that everybody does have the right to live the way they want to live. But I do want to add this because I believe sometimes it is a deeper thing. And I just want to share my experience, even though I'm not a man. But I just want to say that years ago, I was with this man that he was my boyfriend, but he would force me to have sex with him. So anytime I didn't want to have sex, it didn't matter. I had to have sex with this man. So I trained myself to like it because I knew that I had to do it. And so that did something to me psychologically to where now I enjoy the abuse. And I feel that a lot of times that could be that way for other people. You know, men may go through that as well when they have experienced a similar situation where it brings confusion in your mind. And so you really have to go through a deep healing process. But I don't
That's
feel that
that's
it's
so much.
for
Go ahead, my bad.
everybody. That's all I wanted to say. Is I don't feel it's the same for everybody because, like I said, I had to train myself to like a thing that I didn't like in the beginning, but it's a healing process with that. So I just wanted to add that.
And Donisha, I'm Chris. You can go, bro. I just want to add this one quick piece though. Like that's a dangerous concept that you said because we have to address that. It's not just in that situation that like you said that you eventually trained yourself to like that. There was something going on with you and that person from the beginning that was like so much deeper than that. The fact that that person
That's what
would
you
no, but no, I'm saying like the fact that that person would feel like because this is the truth. A lot of times we as people don't know how to express ourselves, you feel me, and we don't understand what we're feeling. Like for example, like if you with a man that at a moment you like I don't want to have sex, why are you with this man? And I'm not speaking about somebody that's been married for years and stuff and like they like man we just we you know what I'm saying. Plus that's not even a conversation that a real married couple go have because they nobody go know their business. You know what I'm saying? Because they're not gonna be like I don't want to have sex. It's gonna be like well we know we always have we got sex when we want to. You know what I'm saying? We just tired or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is in general if a woman is with a man that she doesn't want to have sex with, there's already an issue that's there. And then that man, he knows that somehow, and then this man decides to be weird enough to want to have sex with you anyway. That right there is like a damage on both sides of that. Like, you know what I'm saying? And then when he does that, and then you are still there because you like, okay, well, you know,
well, I was afraid of that man, and I didn't have any protection. That goes the same way for women that stay in abusive relationships. Like you're blaming the person for staying there, but I was afraid of him, and even if I tried to leave him, he would have still found me. Like it was just too
no,
much.
I'm not blaming you
In
for
my head,
staying
in your
there.
own mind, I felt like that was the best thing for me to do because I was going to be putting my daughter in danger. I felt like I'm still a kid. This was he wasn't that much older than me, but I was still afraid of him. So you saying that, oh, you just supposed to just leave just because he was doing that. It's not always that black and white, love. And you
Yeah,
have
no,
to
I
be that.
understand what you're saying. It's just so much. This conversation is so deep and it goes so many different directions because it's so much more to it. Like I know this, and I told this story like a long time ago, but I'm gonna just say quickly. I was with a girl who she looks oh we driving she looked and I'm like she looked like she was nervous or something and I'm like what's going on and she like man I thought I seen something like and then I got it out of her and she thought it was her ex and something that she never broke up with like she never broke up with this person because she felt like she was scared of this nigga and like after I found out who the person was and stuff like this I know this person. I don't know this person like personally, but I know of this person. And this person is not somebody that can't be touched or whatever the case may be. But because she didn't have any exposure to her mindset was like, I can't talk to nobody about this because if I tell somebody about this, I'm gonna feel weak. really that's what it was. And she started running from this person, and she never had to really do that, is what I'm saying. And now she got me, and she's with me, and she's sitting there like looking scared because she ducking somebody. And I don't even know if the person was really there or not, but she just recognized that she still was running. She had to expose, like, yeah, she's running from somebody. How you running from a whole relationship? This is crazy. And it's because not being able to communicate properly can hurt you and another person. Because no matter how much, like we can try to make things seem a certain way if we want to, whatever. But a person can't go along with something that it takes two people. You know what I'm saying? Like, and the only way, how can I put it? I'm trying to make it make sense. The best way I can. The only way that a person can kidnap a child is if that child is scared, like you said, Donisha, you were scared and things like that. If that child is scared and that child decides to listen to everything that the kidnapper is saying, but if that child decides to be disobedient to that energy and say no for that and fight and like lose their mind and stuff like that, they're gonna be noticed, and people will be like, oh no, that's not that person's, that's that person's parent, and then people can stop that child from being kidnapped.
Just like a man can be overpowered, a woman can be overpowered too. I mean, just because you haven't been in that situation, maybe that's why you don't
No,
understand. So
sister,
you like,
like that's not do that either, because you're right. I have not been in that situation, but I've been in many other situations that I had no like control over, or like things where like somebody, like I done got the police come into my house and take my son out of my presence, and while the mother of my children's mother is laughing in my face because she can take, like, I've been in many situations where I've been overpowered in ways outside of just sexual. That's only one way to be overpowered. I understand that. I'm not trying to take nothing away from that either. But there's a lot of traumatic experiences that you can go through that if you have not been through, you won't understand. I understand. But what we have to recognize is what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that there's always a way. Because after that happened, I wasn't dealing with her ass no more, and putting myself in no situation like that at all. And she did take advantage of me in that situation. And that's another thing that people, and like, she left the room. And that's what happens. And she probably got a call, but that's what happens a lot of times. It's not about playing victim. It's about recognizing what has happened. Because, for example, a person that gets raped, they have been raped. And now they're like, okay, I don't want to fight back because this person is going to hurt me. They're about to penetrate you. So yes, they're hurting you, whether you fight back or not. And it's not a thought process that goes through somebody's head, because they're not thinking like that. But this is what's happening. It's about mental, and this is where it comes in. Is homosexuality a mental disorder? Yes. How can you, like the Bible says this, you cannot take from a strong man unless you first bind the strong man. Why is that? Because that strong man is going to fight. And a man is not the only one that can fight. Women fight too if they want to and choose to, but they have to have the mentality to do that.
And let me say this while you're talking about buying the strong man. And this is how you bind that strong man. You've got to do it in the spirit. That's why you have to have the Holy Spirit on the inside of you. That's why you have to be born again. That's why you have to surrender your life to the Lord Jesus Christ so he can come into your heart. There is no way you can overcome a demonic spirit unless you have it of you. I have been in situations, I have been in predicaments. Praise be unto God that the Holy Spirit was inside of me to come against the demonic, to come against the perverted, to come against that overpowering, beguiling spirit. It's that same spirit that was in the Garden of Eden with Eve, that surreptitious, that surely spirit, that beguiling spirit, that overpowering spirit, that seducing spirit, and that lies in people, not just in men and women too. And you have to recognize that spirit. And when you recognize that spirit, you don't succumb to it. You have to overcome that spirit with the power of God. But the power of God has to be inside of you. In the very beginning, is she still here? Did she leave? The young lady that was on the stage, because I'm not looking at my phone. But from the very beginning, When she got with this particular man, he was a controlling man. He had a controlling spirit, a dominating spirit. He beguiled her. And so many times women fall prey to that initially for whatever reason it was. He seduced her for whatever it was. And now you find yourself under the control, under the power of this particular man. And then you get in so deep, you don't know how to get out of it because now you formed a soul tie and you don't know how to get out of that situation. It goes deep, but God goes deep too. And you need to have the power of God to come against all of that. So I encourage all you, my brothers and sisters, number one, we're dealing with a lot of situations in this world for yourselves and for your children, children's children. And we have to have the greater one inside of us to come against all the demonic spirits in the world and the demonic spirits that are in people. They live in people. So I encourage you all on this day to receive Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior. You're going to need him. You're going to need him to come against Satan. There is no way. I remember one day, I'm sorry. I'm going to cut it short because I can get long. I yield the mic.
Yeah, no, and I want to point out something too. Like, when we had these conversations, it get very emotional because people don't look at it from every point, just only their own. And if we learn from something, we have to learn from it, not act like we did. And I want to point out the fact that, you know, if I keep myself in a situation because I'm scared of what could happen, that means I don't trust God. That means I don't have faith. And this is what Sister
That's a good one.
Minister Michelle was
That's
just
a good
saying.
one. That's
And
good.
that's the reason why I wanted it to be clear. Like, you know, I'm not trying to make nobody feel like they're like take nobody experience away. Like, okay, yeah, you know, I definitely feel and have sympathy and empathy towards the situations of anybody who has ever been taken advantage of in a sexual manner. What I'm saying is that when it comes to the situations where it's like a person says like I train myself to, you know, want to be okay with this or something like that. If you can ever be okay with something, that means you could have already been okay with it. The problem is that there's a whole bunch of mental things that's going on. Like the fact, like I said, if you're with a man that you're like, oh, I don't want to have sex with this man right now, and there's no reason why I can't, that means that this is not the man that you need to be dealing with. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, automatically. So, and if you're gonna just have sex with him anyway, like unless you saying like he forced me, like he beat my ass, you know, like you know what I'm saying? That's that's like fucked up. That's after that happens, you have to call the police. I've been and he'd get over it because I done got the police called on me for worse. I mean, for way less, not even doing nothing. I'm talking about just yelling and raising my voice at somebody who's disrespecting the fuck out of me. And like that's not okay. But yet I'm the aggressor because my voice is louder. Yes, you know, cool. Police get called. And even though the person that I was dealing with when the one that called the police still got called. So in a situation where somebody's really in trouble, somebody's really being hurt, somebody's really being handled wrong, they need the police called on them. And it's just that simple. And we have been teaching people not to call the police for whatever reason, you know what I'm saying? When in reality, the police actually is needed. That's why they here. Protection, public service. So that's the thing. We gotta tell women that they're stronger than what they seem. And the thing is, yes, we have to make sure we're making sense of things. There's so much damage. Like there's women that will sit there and like they will call the police on a man that ain't even doing nothing. Now that's dangerous. So there's like all power can be overused. No matter what power you have to have an understanding of this power. So that's my main point because this is a very touchy subject. But go ahead.
Okay, well, I want to speak from experience because it's a shame that we have rooms on Clubhouse and we let women speak, we let everybody else speak. We don't let anybody speak who's actually lived from that experience and don't actually validate their experiences. And I find that I don't know what that is about. I wish Donisha was still here because I understand exactly what she felt like, what she was going through. I was molested by my older brother, 17-year-old brother at 8 years old. And at that point, I had already been rejected on so many different fronts because I wasn't showing up in a way that people expected me to be able to show up. But I didn't have a father to model my behavior after. Okay? To think that I walk this way, talk this way because I want to or because I chose to, I'm a very firm believer nobody chooses to be gay. Okay? We give certain options in society, and based on the some due to whatever factors seem to match up with that option, that's what you go with. But it is a last resort. A lot of times you are emotionally depleted for a lot of different reasons that you decide that you want to be emotionally affirmed in this way. And somebody in the chat was talking about, is it consensual, this and that. Sexual experiences tend not to be verbal in the first place. It's your knee touching their knee, and then before you know it, y'all doing so much more. There's typically not a conversation around it at all. So, yes, you can get to a point where if this is how I need to experience closeness with another man and I have been deprived of it for so long, and that subconscious conversation is saying, this is what I'm going to do. And then if you have factors like in my situation where once the abuse was found out because he was doing it to my sister as well, and my dad asked me, did your brother touch you too? Because if he did, I'm going to kill him, all in one sentence. I said no, because I didn't want him to be killed. And then I suffered in silence for 9 years, not being able to have a conversation because I was raised, as many of us were, by emotionally unavailable parents. Too uncomfortable to be able to talk about the truth
Yes, and
because they
that right, but
prioritize their
Chris, that's
feelings
what I'm
over.
speaking
Let
about,
me
Chris.
finish my point.
Chris, I can let you finish, brother, but be cautious of the time too, brother. Go ahead.
That's all right, man. You got it. You know more.
No, see, and that's
It's
that
all
you're
good.
emotionally projecting right now,
No,
and
it's
that's why
not, man.
my
You listen.
Chris, the reason why my rooms don't be as popping as everybody else rooms be popping, like you have I got my times where it's all the people that's supposed to be here, they be here, like you just left. The concept is people are in their feelings, and what you're saying is exactly what he was just saying is exactly what I was talking about, which is that lack of communication skills that are not taught by the parents, that are not taught by nobody. You saying get to the root, but you don't even want to get to the root. You want to keep making excuses. People are not supposed to not tell their parents what, tell me what he did and I'm gonna kill him. Well, the truth of the matter is he's not gonna die for real, but something's gonna happen and something needs to happen. There has to be a consequence, and you not wanting that consequence, that means that, okay, cool, that's your business, but that's not true, because if you obviously did want the consequences to come to the person. You just didn't like that it might have been death. So you had a misunderstanding at the time that you probably wish that you could go back and recommunicate. These are the issues. We have to learn how to communicate properly with not just ourselves as adults, but with our kids too. And this is just what it is. And this is where the root cause of all these things are coming from, for real. And people get mad at me because I'm going to never hold my tongue on the things that matter the most. And these moments be the moments where they're called triggering moments, where somebody might be in their feelings about something that they haven't fully addressed with themselves and come to a full understanding of, and they bring these stories out like they have fully understood them themselves. And then if somebody mentions something that they probably didn't notice, they get in their feelings about it or feel like they're getting cut off or not. Like, that's not what's happening. What's happening is that you have some trauma that you're still like trying to understand about how you feel about something. And then now we're trying to figure it out together because there's still an understanding that's there that you might not see. And what I'm saying is that a lack of communication is definitely always the cause of why people get into situations. They don't speak up. They're scared, and they're being programmed to be scared. So, Elijah, I know you was trying to get in, sister. My bad. You can tap in.
Yeah, I was gonna say it reminded me of like a book. It's called Psychological Love and Spirit or something like that, and it talks about how the people like like how he was saying, I seen how when you had said what you was gonna say that it connected to what you were saying earlier. So it's like he probably thought that you was gonna say something to refute his statement or to disagree with it. But I knew that you was gonna say something that's what you was gonna say earlier, because how what he was saying what did remind me of what you said earlier. So maybe because of that topic was sensitive to him, he might have thought you was gonna come in a different way. But yeah, when you don't come with emotional, when your parents are I can't even really say what I was gonna say because I kind of forgot what he said about the emotional parents part, where it's like emotional neglect, where they like don't see where you're coming from or something like that, or I don't know. But all I know
Yeah,
is that the
and they can't communicate because the child's not communicating because the child is scared to communicate because they're lacking the communication skills that they need. So there's a lot that's there. It's just a lot that's there, and the child
right
can't
because
be
they
the child.
oh
No,
sorry.
go ahead. My bad. Go ahead.
Yeah, because like the parents also sometimes don't even recover from their own trauma or what they do, and they didn't probably even have that connection or that communication that you're talking about with their own parents, so they don't even know how to do it with their own children. And that's why sometimes I felt like, I mean, I'm not going to throw this in there because this was a thought that I had before. Like, it takes a certain age to have children. I know they say like past 50 that you shouldn't, like 50 is like where you don't like supposed to have children, but I feel like a older age like 40, 50 is when you're supposed to have children. I don't know why the body shuts down during that time, but I feel like when you of that age, you have a lot of healing that you had did so that your trauma or stuff doesn't affect your children. You know how to deal with it, because even when you in your 30s, 40s, people in they even 50s don't even know how to deal with these things. But once you start turning 50 and 60, you start like, I guess, coming to like realization about all of these things so it doesn't directly affect your children. And I could say that from my experience too, when I feel like it was kind of like, I'm gonna try to be short, but like what she was saying, I could understand what you're saying. Like it's both sided because even with me, I was in an abusive relationship, and yes, I was staying. Now I couldn't really. I before the old me would have been like, yeah, I do agree with her because some people can't get out of that situation or something. But there's more. Oh yeah, this is what I was gonna say. There's more harm than staying in that situation because you think that it's better because you know maybe you relying on them for a home, you're relying on them for shelter or something like that. It could be multiple reasons why you're staying in a situation that you know is bad. But that relying on them is worse than the pain that comes by staying. Like leaving is like, I mean, staying is worse than the pain that's going to be felt if you do, if you take away your home or whatever like that. I can't really explain it. But yeah, that book shows not to stay in stay in like situations like that, even though you think it might be good and you think that you have to stay because you might be relying on them for some type of reason. It's like it doesn't, it's not like the it outweighs the good. Like I don't know how to describe it, but the means outweigh the good or whatever that word quote is.
I see what you're saying, Elijah. I see what you're saying. Let me just share this with you. In life, I don't care what it is, but we're talking about this being in entanglements that you feel that you can't get out of and you're staying. You got to pray yourself out of it. God is not so far away that he cannot hear you. You pray yourself out of that because the Bible says that he will make a way of escape. You pray yourself out of that situation. I don't care if you're with a man. I don't care if you're with a woman. I don't care if the situation feels like that you just can't get away. No, you pray yourself out of that situation and God will make a way for you. God will make a way of escape. Don't ever think, I don't care who's in the room. Don't ever think that you're trapped and that's it. No, God will make a way for you. You got yourself in it. Whatever, however you got into it, God will give you a way to get out of it. And let me just say this too. So many times, and we know this in our community, there's such dysfunction in families and dysfunction in relationships with children and such. And you're going to find that if there is a way that the enemy can come and continue to disrupt that, and to try to, how can I best say, get in the middle of all the dysfunction and what cause people to do things that they're not supposed to do. That's what he does. That's what he does. So that's why it's important for us to know the truth. And when you establish truth in the home, establish truth in relationships, then you all set down the parameters of what we're going to do and what we're not going to do. There's a lot of situations where there may be, we'll just go there. There may be molestation in the house, or there may be inappropriate touching, or whatever, and there's trauma that's involved. And the enemy will try to play on that trauma and will continue to have that person in an emotional, traumatized state. So it is important for us to continue to try to let's move on. We got to try to help people to get over that trauma, to get over that situation, so they'll know the truth of who they are and not go and veer to the left, go more into more perversion, go into more misconduct. That's the goal that he's trying to do. But we have to continue to pray that people will know the truth of how they should operate as a family, how they should operate as an individual, how they should operate as a female, how they should operate as a male, and not switch roles, switch genders because of a bad experience that happened to you in the past. That wasn't right then. It never was right. So you can't make two wrongs to be a right. It was wrong then. Let's tell the truth about what happened, and prayerfully, hopefully that person can get over it and live their life in the way that God ordained for them
Yeah,
to be.
and a person has to be honest about these things as well, because like Elijah said too, Minister Michelle, is that like, and that y'all both kind of pointed it out, but it's like this concept of a person lying to themselves or in lying to other people about why they really was staying somewhere. You know what I'm saying? And like they convince themselves of these lies, and they become victims of instead of actually like contributors to their own problems. You know what I'm saying? And that's a real thing as well, because at a time where you're no longer a victim, but you are contributing to your own demise. You are what you call it, accomplice. You know what I'm saying? So if a person is wrong of doing something, or is a criminal, or something like that, and then you will start being their accomplice over time. That don't change. The day that it actually happened, that you actually was taken advantage of or hurt or whatever, and you felt that way, you were supposed to find whatever way to get up out that situation that you could. And even if it was uncomfortable, you were supposed to do that, because it's still uncomfortable to stay. But it was actually more comfortable for you to stay in your mind than it was for you to go out on your own and try to survive on your own, because you don't depend on God. You depend on this person. And it's because you don't know, you know what I'm saying? So it's damage that's causing you to even be like that. So you shouldn't, once you find the strength to be able to overcome that, and then tell other people, like other women, like if they in them same situations, and to speak out, call the police, get up out of there. Like that's the energy. You know that's the energy, because you experience it now. You know, like, yeah, you might be weak for you in the moment, you feel like doing that, but make sure you don't put yourself in that situation again. That's all it's about. So I'm just throwing that out there.
Yeah, you're right. And unfortunately, there is a dearth, meaning that there is a vacuum of strong families, of truth, of rightful living, of standards in homes. From the very beginning, God ordained for male and female to be in the home and to produce and to multiply and to continue to have godly seeds and continue to procreate and have that structure of a loving husband, a loving wife, a loving mother, a loving father, and loving children. But like I said before, the problem is sin. The problem is Satan, and has come into the home structures. The Bible says the devil comes to steal, kill, and destroy. He goes about as a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour. So his job is try to destroy families, try to destroy relationships, mom, dads, children, or whatever. And we see it happening. We see it happening. That's why this ministry that that we have, or whoever, in churches or whatever, that's why we have to continue to minister to families and heal families, allow the Holy Spirit to help to heal the families, because there's been so much going on. It's more prevalent now than before. It's more prevalent now than before. I mean, I grew up in a generation where, there was, for the most part, we had stable, relationship with mom and dad and the two parent home and the children. But now there's just so much more single parenting, and Not only that, there's a lot of um, mix and matches of who's the parents, mix and matches of two guys who consider one's the mom, one's the dad, or two father households, two mother households, and this confusion. The Bible said it's confusion, and you're confusing the children. So we have a lot of work to do. We're not out the woods. We have a lot of work to do to bring the standard, to bring the truth, to bring the truth of God's love and how He ordained for love to be, how this love thing's supposed to happen. Like I've told my children, I mean, I can have girlfriends too, but we're not going to cross that line. We're not going to do that. You can have friends of the same sex. Men can have men friends. Women can have women friends. That we will do, but we're not going to cross that line because that goes against God's original design for man. I yield the mic.
I had wanted to say something about what I agree with everything you were saying, Minister. And I wanted to say something to the point that Mom made earlier when he said about the kidnapping of the child. Like when a child is kidnapped, they so one might fight back and the other one might not. And the one that doesn't fight back, they are like scared or something, whatever their excuse is, and that could be potentially accomplice or like why they were kidnapped. And I agree with that because when people like are like raped as a child at a certain age, like 6, 7, 8, you are aware. Of course, like if a child is kidnapped when they're like 2 or infant 6 months, they can't really do some. The most they could do is like cry. But when you're 6 and 7, those type of ages, which some happened to me when I was a child, and I used to say that during that time that it happened to me, and it was like no, I always thought it was my fault because I didn't fight back or anything like that, and so I never put the blame on the other person. I always knew that I should have just did something more. But the thing is, some people after that situation, there was a story this woman was talking about where she said that she became like a she kept on like after it happened, she kept on going back because now she was grown and stuff. So but the thing is like I couldn't even understand her perspective because even though my body could have reacted in a way of liking that what happened to me, I still knew that it was wrong. So I never went back to get this like this thing done to me. So even though I was only a child, so like that type of I guess discernment is there even as a child, even though people keep on saying children don't know better, they don't know that is wrong and stuff like that. I can't agree with that because after it happened and I never had nothing happen like that to before to me and it was new and stuff, I knew it was wrong. Nobody had to tell me that it was wrong. I knew that it was wrong. So I feel like children do know it's wrong. They're just told that they don't know nothing. And more children need to be told that they do know, and so that more people can run away from their these people. Because of course older people do have more knowledge and they should not do these things to a younger child. But a child should also be able to defend themselves. And so people should be not telling children that they don't know nothing, they don't know they too young to know, because then we will have more people running from their kidnappers and not just staying silent because they're just a child, and people that are fighting their abusers or oppressors and stuff like that, instead of just staying compliant because they're older and they're like, so like that's what I experience, and that's what a lot of people experience, and hopefully, well, I know that it will be a way to get to these people, I mean these children too.
Well, no, that's a fact. That's my point. And it's kind of sad that like I have the type of people like, I be so cautious, and I'm learning more and more who to let on the stage and who not to. Again, it's just slowly, still some people get through the cracks. But at the end of the day, it's crazy that I can't have honest conversations with people, because once it gets to a point where like they feel like their feelings is not being heard or something, they don't care about nobody else's feelings. But the truth is, if we gonna have these conversations, we have to always be honest. And to get to the point. And some people don't want to look at where they are wrong at. Be like, oh, what you trying to say? It was my fault. No, no, man. We know the person who hurt you is wrong. We know that. But we're talking about right now in the present on how we can look at things and how we were not looking at things. And let's be open and honest. So like what you just said was key because you're saying like, hey, I recognize I knew that that was wrong and I understand everything completely. But you know, I also knew that people thought that I was ignorant of it, and people thought that like you know what I'm saying. If I would have told somebody about it, I feel like they probably wouldn't have listened to me. Like you know what I'm saying. Like it's just a lot of things that can go through a child's head, and if they have a certain outlook and an emotional projection that they project on themselves, that can make a child seem even more hopeless or helpless than they actually are. Because I seen Home Alone, so no, and that's a joke, but that's real still though. But yeah,
Mine, I'm going to have to leave. I wish I can continue to stay so we can have this discussion, but I got to study. I have an exam tonight, so I'm online doing some studying. So thank you so much for allowing me to speak in your room, and I look forward to coming back in again. Thank you so much.
no, I love sister, all love. Definitely tap in anytime.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, and I definitely this has been a great room so far today. And I just wanted to kind of like tap into the next part as I go to the next section, because I'm I'm actually moving around while I'm doing this podcast. It's crazy, but let me say this. The next part of we was on mental health, but free will. How is free will tied into homosexuality and the concept of us getting to choose what we want to do? So does God hate people who are gay? No, God don't hate people who are gay. God hates the actions of like homosexuality, the act of it, the infiltration of a spot that's supposed to be used as an exit, being used as an entrance. You know what I'm saying? That's not normal. That's not the natural law. You know what I'm saying? So there's an energy that's there that's not agreed with upon nature itself. But people try to find ways to make things, adjust things, and do all type of things, and then they find ways to make certain things seem to be normal. But it's still gonna always be not normal. So every time someone has to experience these things, they're gonna learn certain things. Like for example, there's women that go around and make Facebook tweets. I said tweets and Facebook posts, and they say stuff like, "Hey, anal sex is painful." What are y'all talking about? Like there's women that say that, and the reason why they say that is because they had their own personal experiences. And then there's women who honest like, well, yeah, it hurt at first, it did hurt for me, but now it's normal. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing. That's just what it is. Like you can make something normal if you agree to it. It's no different than what Sister Danisha was saying earlier, where she said that the concept of a man that she was dealing with that she didn't want to have sex with, but then she still had sex with him anyway because he kind of like forced her to have sex with him, and then eventually she just got like okay with it. She said she taught herself to be okay with it, but in reality she just adjusted to the discomfort that she was allowing to happen. You know what I'm saying? That's what happens, and people start normalizing things that's not normal because that's their experience, that's their reality, and their you know what I'm saying. So it's deep.
You know what? I want to bring this out. Actually, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna bring this out. This actually is something I want to bring up because it was actually something somebody had sent to me yesterday when I was supposed to do the podcast. And basically, it's talking about how they're trying to make it normal for people to have babies that are of the same father, having two fathers and having the baby have two fathers. They're trying to find ways to make that happen. And there's an article on this. Like this is a real article. I'm actually post an article at the top, but I'm gonna play this, and when I play it, I'm gonna post the article for everybody. So listen to this real quick, y'all, and tell me what y'all think about this. This is actually, I think, a good conversation to have right now. So let's listen to this. Scientists have created mice with two biological fathers by generating eggs from male cells, a development that opens up radical new possibilities for reproduction. The advance could ultimately pave the way for treatments for severe forms of infertility, as well as raising the tantalizing prospect of same-sex couples being able to have a biological child together in the future. This is the first case of making robust mammal oocytes from male cells, said Katsuhiko Hayashi,
who led the work at Kyushu University in Japan and is internationally renowned as a pioneer in the field of lab-grown eggs and sperm. Hayashi, who presented the development at the Third International Summit on Human Genome Editing at the Francis Crick Institute in London on Wednesday, predicts that it will be technically possible to create a viable human egg from a male skin cell within a decade. Others suggested this timeline was optimistic, given that scientists are yet to create viable lab-grown human eggs from female cells. Previously, scientists have created mice that technically had two biological fathers through a chain of elaborate steps, including genetic engineering. However, this is the first time viable eggs have been cultivated from male cells and marks a significant advance. Hayashi's team is now attempting to replicate this achievement with human cells, although there would be significant hurdles for the use of lab-grown eggs for clinical purposes, including establishing their safety. Purely in terms of technology, it will be possible, in humans, even in 10 years, he said, adding that he personally would be in favor of the technology being used clinically to allow two men to have a baby if it were shown to be safe.
This is terrible. I'm gonna let it finish, but this is crazy, bro. What is going on?
I don't know whether they'll be available for reproduction, he said. That is not a question just for the scientific program, but also for society. The technique could also be applied to treat severe forms of infertility, including women with Turner's syndrome, in whom one copy of the X chromosome is missing or partly missing, and Hayashi said this application was the primary motivation for the research. Others suggested that it could prove challenging to translate the technique to human cells. Human cells require much longer periods of cultivation to produce a mature egg, which can increase the risk of cells acquiring unwanted genetic changes.
And I'm gonna say this on this part, right? Like they said that they're using it, they're trying to apply it to help treat severe forms of infertility with women. And that's understandable. Like, you know what I'm saying? There has to be some type of positive reason that they're doing it. So let's do that. You know, they're trying to maybe help women who can't procreate or who might have birth issues or something. And they're trying to play with these cells to see if they can kind of, you know what I'm saying, help create a process where you know, they can help these women, whatever. Let's say that.
Professor George Daly, the dean of Harvard Medical School, described the work as fascinating, but added that other research had indicated that creating lab-grown gametes from human cells was more challenging than for mouse cells. We still don't understand enough of the unique biology of human gametogenesis to reproduce Hayashi's provocative work in mice, he said. The study, which has been submitted for publication in a leading journal, relied on a sequence of intricate steps to transform a skin cell, carrying the male XY chromosome combination, into an egg, with the female XX version.
Okay, that's crazy. But what do y'all think about that? Do y'all want to tap in on that?
Yeah, I don't know what kind of stuff is going on, but that is crazy. At first, when you first said it, I thought they was trying to say that a woman wants to have a baby by two men. That's what I thought. But then I was um, like, cause some women sleep with two men, so I thought they wanted two men to be the baby father. But now I see they want to do it for like the gay community. I mean, the homosexual community. Um, yeah, I don't know about that. That's kind of, and then I think they using that. Oh, we could help women as a scapegoat because we already know what's their real intentions. Like it's probably just for the males to have be able to have babies because that's the most talk. Like males can't have babies. That's been the talk for a long time. So I think they're trying to make it happen.
Yeah, no, that's definitely a big fact. They're gonna use that whole concept of, oh, we're working on this idea, and they want funding. They're gonna want funding for this, and they're gonna want to actually, you know, increase and push this research. So they need people to support it, and so they're gonna try to find like some type of like supporting factor, like, oh, this can help women who has fertility problems or whatever, you know, whatever the case may be. But the whole point, like you said, yes, they're trying to do this to help two men have biological kids together. That's what
And I
they're
want
doing.
I wanted to ask. Oh my God, I'm loud, but I wanted to ask. Do you know? Did you want the hand raising off? Because I think somebody want to come up.
No, the hand raising is off. Who want to come?
Oh, okay.
Oh, Yas, yeah, Yasin, you can come up. We just got to be respectful to the stage and the time. Like people don't get upset with me because I don't agree with you and all that. You know what I'm saying? Let's just keep it going. But yeah, you can come up. I'm just limiting the stage now because of course a lot of people come into my room just to disrupt it. But tap in. You guys, something you want to add?
What makes you think that homosexuality is a mental disorder? It could be just a attraction. It's just about a sexual attraction. It has nothing to do with the health of the individual. Just like you are straight, there's someone who is gay, other is bisexual, and so on. So why we are just like looking into it as something against nature, or we call it abnormal, even though we don't really know what is normal, what it's not. And thank you for letting me ask the question.
Yeah, no, it's so the question to the room is homosexuality a mental disorder? Me personally, I would say yes because it's a concept of lack of self-love. Um Everybody has to know who they are and what their value is, and there's a significant value that a man adds to a woman and that a woman adds to a man. So for a man to truly know himself, he would know that a woman being in his life and him having a woman as a partner would be a very strong benefit to his actual nature and of who he is. Same vice versa with a woman. She will, when she fully knows herself, she will recognize that a man is a benefit. A equally yoked man, of course, is to her benefit, to help complete who she is by nature. You feel me? So there's a understanding that's there naturally between men and women when they truly know themselves. And when a person does not know themselves, they lust over men and women. They lust over each other. They can't control their sexual urges and things like that without it having to do anything with homosexuality. But the homosexuality comes in place where it's like, okay, well, not only do I not have control over my sexual energies, I don't even care who I direct it towards, because if it's a man, cool, that's okay. Because why not? And at that point, there's a lot of reasons why not. But then the person says, fuck all those why not reasons. And that becomes a lack of awareness of who you are as a man. Because even though you're saying, fuck those reasons for you personally, you can't act like that. We don't need man in this world to not be the way that you're thinking that is okay for you to personally be. Because we need man that's going to be man and be how men are supposed to be in this world. Because the world functions off of that. We have built and grown as people because of man who have said, I'm not worried about my sexual desires and urges. I'm worried about, I'm not worried about my feelings and my emotions and how, what I'm saying? I know that we need this right here needs to be done. And then I had to put some work into it, some hard work, some dedication, some elbow grease, all this to get this done and accomplished, because somebody got to do it. And I'm obviously the only one that's gonna do it, so I got to get this done. That's domination. That's masculinity. That's creativity. That's divine creation. That's what God was in. That masculine energy, that overall dominant energy. Like that's just what it is. Man need to have that. It's just what it is. But like if a man says, "Oh, I don't need that. I'd rather a man dominate me," that's some type of mental issue happening right there. When a man allows another man to feel like he should be dominated by him, that's another mental issue. Even when it's not gay, even when it's just like another man is over a man and he's like making that man feel like he's less than because that man is holding a position higher than him. No, a real man and a king is gonna try to lift that brother up, like, bro, what I'm saying? Because of course we gonna have order. But hey, you just as dope as I am, bro. You can do this too. Start your own business. I help you support what you got going on too. You know what I'm saying? Like boom, boom, boom. Like that's how real men be when they have a balance in the actual healthy masculinity. So yeah, it's a lot to it. So yeah, that's it. I'm gonna move on because we touched simply that one part where it's like they're trying to like find ways to create to make it okay for two men to come together and have kids together. Like, this is crazy. You know what I'm saying? But the truth is, we're still gonna have to figure out how the child's gonna come into existence, because they're gonna still need a woman to bring that child into existence, though, right? So that, you know what I'm saying? It's just a lot. It's just crazy. But to the next, let's go on. Animals. Now, some people make arguments like animals are gay. Like, what? Animals are not gay, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you see a gay animal, then okay, that's something that's just not like common, though. It's not like some shit you just see. You don't see two animals that's of the same sex having sex. Just like, that's not a common thing. You done seen random stuff. I done seen in alleys or in the middle of the streets and stuff like that, two cats having sex of the opposite sex, or two dogs of the opposite sex. This is like, if an animal does, they have mental something going on in their mind. They confused because they can't procreate the way that they need to. If it's two people having sex of the same sex, they can't procreate and create more of themselves. So they have to be some type of wise enough to know, like, oh, I gotta sleep with this female version of myself to actually procreate. So you got people that might experience a situation where they see, because who's first off trying to find that shit. So sometimes they probably have people they be setting that shit up, but like, two animals of the same sex having sex, bro, like, that's not common. It could probably happen, you feel me, but it's not common.
Yes, I agree. I think that's a rarity. Like that's something that's like rare to happen. So I think people use that. I did use that because I did find that animals were home. Like I had saw that on what I saw that at on Google or something, and but just like you said, it's not common, so you can't really use that. Most likely you're going to see animals of the opposite sex having sex, and if it was like that, then why is it so common in the human race where people are homosexual and so rare in the animal race? So that means that it should be rare in the human race too, if they're going to use the animal thing. It shouldn't be happening as common. It should be the same amount of number that we see in the animals homosexual. It should be the same that we see in the humans homosexual. But then they're gonna say, oh, the humans are more complex. Well, then you can't use the excuse that animals are homosexual as a point to your argument.
No, that's facts. That's the confusion that they don't even pay attention to. Like, yes, like, you can't say that, well, the reason why, it's not more gay animals is because mankind has more control over themselves. Isn't that a very good point to make? Like, yeah, like, we have control not to do stuff that's against our nature, like that animals would do sometimes against their nature, that they still don't even do at a very common rate. You know what I'm saying? So that means that like, animals doing that, they are very confused. So imagine a human race of people who have more control than animals, who are also doing that. That means that you have an ultimate confusion, just like, that's deep. That's deep. But people will deny it, and then that's dangerous, because now nobody can help them. You don't have a problem now. You're not gay in your mind now, because in your mind, people have told you that it's normal for humans to be this way. And if you get for a minute, it wasn't being as common. And you got people that's lying like, well, yes, it was still a lot of gay people, it just people didn't know about them. That's true. That's true, but I guarantee that it still wasn't as many. And I guarantee that the people that's claiming that they're gay now, which I've seen it, people just saying they're gay for fun. Like, women are just the ones that's tearing it up too. I'm seeing women like, well, I don't care, I'm about to get me a girlfriend. Is that cute? Like, this is this new fad. This is popular now, and it's like none of your friends go correct you. Some of the girls be like, "Girl, stop playing." Like, yeah, like, talk to your friend. Like, tell her to chill out. She tripping. So that's the energy that we living in this generation, where being gay is becoming a popular thing. The people are like, you're popular if you're gay. Not trying to be funny, but I see some of them. I see some people on this app that have a lot of pull on this app that's part of that community. Just because they're part of that community, people like them. Not trying to be funny. They're not any more charismatic or smart or intellectual or any of that than some other people. But because they're gay, that gives them a lot more like relatability there, because there's a lot of people that's relating to this community. So a lot of people can relate to this person. And they're using this as a thing now, which is not nothing. They probably been gay. So they like, cool, it's working to my advantage. That's what's up. So that's a thing that's happening too.
And this was real messed up. That I mean, well, people would think it's messed up, but like I've been noticing like a lot of white people becoming gay. Because I'm not saying they becoming gay because of this, but because they want to have a sense of community and feel some type of oppression. Because a lot of people say, "Oh, white people can't feel oppressed. They can't be racist." I mean, that they the racist ones and they're the oppressor. But when they do join a community, such as the only community that they could join, because of course they can't have a black community. I mean, they could, I guess, have a white community, but that's like not common. So they join the LGBTQ community, and then they feel some type of sense of community, like, oh yeah, I understand your oppression because I am oppressed by people that are homophobics. So sometimes that is, but I'm not saying in no shape or form like, oh, this is why they turn out like that. But earlier, that the man that was here, he was saying that it was emotional. He was kind of making some points to, even though I think I'm not going to assume about him, but he was making some points towards why people are homosexual, and because they lack the emotional I guess embrace of people, and so they go into a community or they find a place that they can find it, and oftentimes it isn't. And then what you were saying, like how the girls be like, oh, I'm about to get a girlfriend, that's because they're not seeking the emotional embrace from the male. Because I hear that a lot too, like women be like, oh, men ain't nothing, or men ain't shit or whatever, niggas ain't shit or whatever. So they be like, okay, I'm about to give me a girl because I'm done with the boys now. So that's like, that shouldn't be your excuse. Like,
Because
why is it
it's
always
a popular,
excuses?
because it's a popularity contest. Like I said, it's a lot of people that don't understand how emotional projection works. Like you can emotionally project how you feel onto other people, and they don't even realize it. Like that's why, like whether you know this or not, Elijah, and I know you notice it because you've been here a lot more than anybody else in this room right now. You have seen the ups and downs of how my rooms work, and you can see like the people that really rock with me and the people that don't. You can clearly see that. I know you can, but I'm saying I'm only speaking to you because you are one of the people that's in here that I know. But what I'm saying is that that I know that's seen it. This is what happens. Emotional projection can make somebody seem to be a certain way, and even the people that don't even notice it can be affected by it. And like little things can cause a person to be affected. You know what I'm saying? Like for example, me allowing certain people, like it's a brother that just came in the room and just left. That brother came on the stage, and I only let him come on the stage because he back channeled me to come up to the stage and join the conversation, but he left when the conversation got to a place that he didn't want it to go. You know what I'm saying? And that becomes that energy, regardless if he know that it had any effect and anybody else know, I know. You know what I'm saying? So when you really know what's happening, you don't feel the same way as other people that don't know. Like some people think like, oh, mine is just crazy. Mine will cut some people out. Mine it is. But it's only when certain things is happening, and the emotional projection of the people that's witnessing it, they can project that out to other people and make people feel like, oh, this is what's really going on. Mine is just being unloving, and he doesn't be patient. And like, you know what I'm saying? So it's all about emotional projection. And then next thing you know, all your people turn on you. You know what I'm saying? So yes, women are starting to be gay because it's popular and people are approving of it. So now they're okay to say like, girl, I do be thinking you cute sometimes. I've been thinking your behind been fat this whole time, and I ain't been able to say it because it wasn't normal to say it now. But like, how everybody on Facebook doing it now, girl. I can say it, I can call you out. You know what I'm saying? Like this stuff. You know what I'm saying? And it's like at one point in time, you know what I'm saying? Like women were cautious of like what's going on. Like, yeah, women like can be cute and beautiful, but that's not me. I'm not gay. I'm not gonna be gay. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? But like they getting more okay with it because more people are okay with it. And because honestly, I don't care how nobody feel. Women cannot have sex with each other. It's just what it is. Like, I don't care. Like, y'all can use as many dildos and scissors as y'all want to do. That's fine. fingers and tongues and everything. It doesn't, you can't penetrate each other physically. Can't do it. You shouldn't be able to do it because you can't. Man can't do it. They don't have nowhere to put it except for in an exit that's used to distribute waste, to get waste outside of your body. So there's a lot of people that don't understand what's going on, and I just feel like it's crazy. So yeah, Kingdom citizens. Let's talk about that. I'm gonna just wrap it up with this. The whole point is that homosexuality isn't okay in the kingdom of God. It's just not. And the reason why is because in the kingdom of God, everybody is in sync with the same things. And one of those things is not man having sex with other men or anybody having sex for any purpose outside of reproduction or the fact that you're reproducing with your partner, your life partner. And everybody's gonna want to have a life partner that they can reproduce with because they're gonna want to continue their legacy. You know what I'm saying? But when you living in an environment where everybody think that you could just have sex and it's all good and all fun and it doesn't matter because sex is just whatever, there's more people that's gay because now, you know what I'm saying? Sex is not about me actually having a purpose behind it. Sex is just me trying to satisfy myself. So who can I satisfy myself with? Anybody that makes me feel good. That's just what it is. And then it gets to these ideas of, well, maybe since I'm open to this, maybe I can, deal with this person in a serious way. Let's be different. Let's try something new. I know it's not common, but let's try to see if we can try to be what other people can't. That's the energy that people be on. But these are not things that's of the kingdom of God because the kingdom of God is focused on God and loving God and the people that loves God as well. So we all gonna be on the same page, trying to have the same purpose and build on the same things and the same goals. And sex is not the goal at all. And sex is not even a topic unless you're married. Sex shouldn't even be a topic with anybody outside of your marriage. If you have conversations about sex, it should be with your parents. Your parents should be telling you what sex is about. They got a lot of sex education sites that you can look into now. You can go research some sex if you really want to learn something about sex or talk about sex. You don't need nobody to tell you nothing. Their sexual experience is not even your sexual experience. You got to figure yours out. You got to learn the type of person you got. Like, it's a lot of stuff that goes into sex that has nothing to do with nobody outside of you and your partner. But we stay talking about it with other people. So being a kingdom citizen is the main focus, the main point. Mental health is about not being self-aware and being self-governed. When you're self-aware and you're loving yourself completely, there's a lot of things that become fixed, including your sexual desires and urges and things like that. You're not even attracted to the same type of women if you are straight. You're attracted to women who have the same type of mindset as you, that seek God the way you do, that's willing to discipline themselves and be self-governed like you. That's what you're attracted to. And if you notice that a woman is not like that, it turns you off and makes you feel some type of way. So there's a difference in how you're supposed to be when it comes to the world we're living in. So with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and close this out. Alasia, Van Ashton, Coach, do y'all want to say anything before I close the room up?
I did want to say something. I'm gonna try to make it like
Me too.
not be all over the place. But like I feel like people they be starting to blame. I'm gonna say this, like only the parents and the parent bringing the child, like the mother and the father. Now I used to think like all of these different things, outside forces like the media and all of these people can influence these things. Yes, it could be an influence, but the parents are birthing the child. The influencers, all of these other people are not coming together with you to birth your child. So you are responsible for making sure the child that you have is not like, you are responsible. And so I know that is a lot of scapegoat to blame a lot of people for all of the things, but you're responsible for that child. And so whatever they turn out to be, that's on you. It does have something to do with the child as well. The child also got to look out for itself at a certain age, when it becomes a certain age and become aware. And that's around like 5 or 6, because I remember as much back as when I was in kindergarten, first grade, I was making choices and stuff. So I feel like it's the child and the parents. All of the other people that is scapegoated for like all of this bad stuff happening are just accepted. Like is brought into it because it is allowed. That's why it comes into factor um to affecting a child in a parent's life because it's accepted and like it's the choice. I feel like it's all the choice.
I was just, he was saying, is there anything else? I was basically co-signing everything he said as far as the predominant understanding of being held accountable and also being understanding of what really sickness is and what really health is from an inner perspective rather than an exterior perspective of what's sickness.
So when you say that, can you just say it one more time, like a little bit, so I could? I know. Were you trying to say that to mine though, or just to say it?
Just from listening and not saying anything, I was giving my perspective of everything, all jumped up into one. I paid attention that the common thing is people, uh, the accountability that most people shy away from because of how they live, they look at it as being normal, and it's not. But once you realize and be held accountable that's not normal, there comes the correct accountability. And like he said, like if people don't understand that it's a problem, it's scary, and then that's when danger comes. We're not being truly healed with things opposed to things that's not really normal as far as being substantial and productive and proactive in living.
Yeah, I agree with that. I know he said he was going to shut the room down or something, but yeah, I agree with that. Like what you said, self accountability and self correction, and that's basically like a form of love. And so, just like he be saying, like all of those things can contribute to love and loving others and loving yourself. So yeah, just like you said, accountability and correction is important.
Yeah, you're right. The reason why I say that is because just to keep it simple, I mean, the Lord, He only came to those who really knew that they were sick, that really had faith in being healed. A lot of people look at it from an outer perspective, from outside looking in, but He's really healing people from the inside. Like when those people, those sinners was coming to Him, it wasn't a form of entertainment. These people were really crying out for help. Whether they was blind, whether they was a whore, whether they was continually bleeding, they was looking to be healed and get an understanding. The Lord always say, just don't sin no more, you're healed. Just don't practice it. Fight against it rather than dealing with it backwards. So that's why I said that accountability. Once you realize that, hey man, I have a problem and I'm sick and I want to do something about it, then that's where true power and healing comes. But if you feel like what you're doing in life is normal, like mine said, is it becomes dangerous and hazardous to yourself and people around you as well. So yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that, especially with people just like you said, like especially those people that have ego, they might have that relates. I mean, they the same thing what you said, who don't think they need correcting. They got a big ego, too much pride, and yeah.
I agree, but I never thought about like the question that's on this room. I never thought of thinking of it like that, because most of the people that goes through, you know, homosexuality, um, most of them been, touched and stuff. Because I got friends and stuff, and and then also people like just regular people just kind of push them to be like, oh, well, you gay. Like, you dress like this, or you look like this, or you act like this, you gay. So they just go with, what the world telling them. They don't really know.
Yeah, and I did that before. I had did that only twice. I mean, that's not even only, but that was messed up that I did that. But two times when it was this one boy, and he didn't turn out gay or nothing because I said this, and I didn't say it to his face in a bullying way. I just thought it in my head. Um, because he would walk like, and he would have mannerism, I guess, and he would sound a little bit different. And so I thought about that. I didn't never come to him and be like, and you gay. But then this other person, the second person, I did ask someone, do they think that this person is gay because I was like talking to them and I wanted to make sure. But yeah, gay doesn't have, I mean, homosexual doesn't have like a look or anything. So, and if I did offend the person, because I think later on, well, I know because I was in a relationship with them later on, where when they had came across a male that was homosexual, whatever. But like that's still like something else. But like I would always have these thoughts, like even when they're interacting with homosexual men, not homosexual men, like it was only one person that they like had as a friend or whatever. But even now, like people would probably think, oh, they had a homosexual friend. Oh, they probably most likely was messing with them on a low and stuff like that. And then those ideas would get in my head, and then I'll start thinking they gay and start asking them questions, and then that could even cause them to, no, it can't cause them to be like, I don't know, but it was so much. But yeah.
Things gon' change, always change. Listen to the Lord's voice and what it say. Things gon' change, yeah. Things gon' change. Soulful. Things gon' change, always pray. Listen to the Lord's voice, what it say. Life hard, but you can't stop. You might blow it if you started from the top. Life is just right, but you busy saying it's not. Or you busy bragging about your Glock. Or the knot you keep pulling through the grass some more rocks. And sit up on the block acting like you got it getting hot. Times change, I see them changing now. They be snitching, who y'all raising now? Tight jeans and skirts screaming thug life. It wasn't done right, we was supposed to change the game. Not let every fool get a mic and tell you to shoot on sight. But chilling with the enemy shooting dice. Not caring you look up to and ready to lose your life. As long as you say it's right. Power to change a life, it's like the power to be a guy. But when we don't act, we say he lied. And it's her fault our seed died. Not saying life has no rewind, just green lines that you can see before you need a revise. I can see signs, nothing is new. So seeing the future is like looking at yesterday. So just do your best today, that's all you can do. Who would've knew it could be true? A God that's so great, that would love a man who thought he was born to shoot and kill, or be in a suit or jail. Love is so real, can't believe you love me, Lord. After the stolen wheels and selling pills, that life that made me is the life I was given. It could've been different if I would've listened, at least to mine, who gave me a different path that didn't lead to crime. I ignored it, just blessed, I ain't get no time, or end up dying. Mind made, I got a made up mind, King John. They want me to die, but why? I'm here to change the times. Things gon' change. Things gon' change. Always pray. Listen to the Lord's voice and what it say. Things gon' change. Things gon' change. Things gon' change. Things gon' change. Listen to the Lord's voice and what it say. Always keep your faith. Things gon' change. Cause things gon' change. Things gon' change. Yeah. The struggle is real. Hustle and kill. They mind stuck on the mill, but moms ain't missing the meal. Should be grateful, but that stomach not. Hit a lick, can't feed my family not. Cause I'm locked up, cause I felt like they wasn't enough. Feeling messed up, my girl making the bucks. And everybody, including her, said I'm a bum. She must be dumb, cause she still here struggling with me. But listening to what she hear from her friends who can't keep her own man. Understand, they hating cause they want me. She was alone with me one night, tried to put it on me. I told her she was lonely and needed to get up off me. But you can't see, you got me and she hating cause you wish she can't be. Cheer up, let's pray. Without God, our relationship is fake. Just another fish in the lake. Try not to drown from pollution to fate. The solution is grace. Use it for good if you get another day. Take action like Donald Trump, who put people in power, who already had it, but nothing stronger than God. If we stay focused, we can rise, open them eyes, and wipe up the cries. We all struggle, that's no surprise. But when you don't, you know you with the Most High, which is beyond fly. No God can compare to God. They looking for a ride, but they headed for hell. Devil taking the wheel, but here come King John, ready to kill the spirit of evil that hold upon your soul. Take off the load, cause I know I can hold it. No overload, I know where I'm going. I'm on the narrow road, not alone, the Lord always close. They always hating on hope. At least we don't pretend to know and be wrong, looking so slow. Need to speed up, 7 king, we need a king to lead us. Still waiting on Jesus, but how can we wait on someone who couldn't leave us? Never could he leave. Things gon' change. yeah. Things gon' change. Keep your faith. Listen to the Lord's voice and what it say. Things don't go your way, but that's okay, cause things gon' change. Things gon' change. Things gon' change.
I had a homeboy, we were best friends, and he was a homosexual in college. And he he clinged to me because I was basically exuding out true friendship without even knowing it. He made me acknowledge it, and really, I didn't have no attitude of separating myself from this type of person or that type of person, whether a male or female. I just was on some stuff like, I'm gonna respect you, you better respect me.
Yeah, I had one of my brother ex-girlfriends. She was just because she was telling me how she like regret what she did because I think she probably cheated on him or something like that. But she was like, he wouldn't have sex with me. He must be gay. And I'd be like, no, he not gay. And that ain't the first time he done had sex and all this type of stuff. So it's just crazy to me. Like girls be thinking like, oh, he don't want to have sex with me, then he gay. Like no.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that too because I feel like people, and also in the schools, like people don't like the people that are smart, even though some people could be, or like if they pretty or handsome and they smart, people be like, oh, I can't believe you smart, like, because I guess they made that the norm. Now I guess it's changing. I guess people are like realizing that being like intelligent or having or being able to think does not have a like a physical attraction relate correlation. It's just that they are like the way they are because of the way they are. But like that's what people do. And if you, just like you said, if you think smart and you think for yourself, it shows you got some type of, I guess, free will, freedom. And like maybe people don't really like what they can't be or what they choose to be, because I think those girls who choose not to be like that have the capability maybe of being that way, but they are choosing not to be that way. They are choosing not to think, because when they sitting around and they in the corner and by themselves home alone or whatever with no type of drug or liquor or anything to alter their brain chemistry, and they're just sitting around thinking, they are actually thinking. But then later on, the day they wake up, they choose to go back to the life that they actually that's considered the norm or considered them, make them popular, I guess, in society.
Um, just thinking causes you to bring out them emotions, because like even though people tell you the truth, I mean you gotta either accept the truth or you're just gonna get emotional. You're just gonna shut it down and all that. So that's probably why they don't want to do that.
Yeah, but I do agree with you, Nisha, too, about the mind thing. I mean, about the emotional thing too. Like, just it do bring out the emotions when you do sit back and think.
What y'all saying is true, Elijah and Nisha and Van Ashton. Y'all saying some facts. I just feel like the emotional influence that we have in this world is what is the big issue. Like whatever we decide is the truth about stuff, we can all come to an understanding. We just need enough people to do it and to emotionally project this every day, and we'll get somewhere. You know what I'm saying? We definitely get somewhere, and I know for a fact we will. So
Me too.
that's that that's just what it is like we just got to get our numbers. And like again, how you see how the people fade out this room went up and went down. Like that's how all my rooms go be, for real. And eventually all the people that's like always still hanging in there until the end, those gonna be the only ones that end up coming into my rooms. And then we gonna have a foundation, and then when we have these numbers, then other people gonna start coming in just to listen to us who have come together under one accord. You know what I'm saying? So we tapping in with it. Y'all have a good day. I just posted a link at the top. It's My Made Radio. Y'all enjoy y'all day.
CO6. Let's open it up. Mom made the brand. Gotta wake up one day. I I'ma pull up, I'ma grind, I'ma take it, yeah, it's mine. I'm not wasting no more time, I was destined just to shine. I invested, now I'm fine, 6'7", no LeBron, but I'm the best at what I do. If you the best, then bring the proof. My newest book, get the juice, you can look and get it too. Get you hooked on what is true, you killed the snitch but did it too. Bunch of very gangster fools, steady dropping out of school to sell girl, but you spend it on your shoes, act so tough, but then you end up on the news. I'm crying, you out here paying to do a crime, when you could bring the change into your mind, and say the extra spread the light. You acting scared of life, that's why you not afraid to die. When we see it in your eyes that you hurting, no one on your side, yeah, I'm here to tell you someone lied. God got your back, that's no cap, that's a fact. No time to relax, we on another level, burying the past. I'ma need another shovel. Made a lot of mistakes like my name was Neville, but it made me closer to God. Shout out to the devil, who would lose but we will win. You got the truths, I'm on the mind-made pants. We on a whole new level, trying to make it from the struggle, trying to stay up and be humble. We'll never settle, cause we overcome the devil. He was never on our level, we were God, and he always on our side. She was always inside, we'll never cut ties. We in this thing forever, we gon' shine, we gon' grind, yeah, we all fine, yeah, we got God by our side, by our side, we got God, yeah, we gon' shine. Why you hating on the king? He can do this in his sleep. Yeah, he can really make you think. Tired of picking up that drink, cause another vote to sick. Time to change, that time today, no time to play. Get out my face, you have nothing to say. Buy a book or go away. Got my work, I'm moving straight. Taking out the pines, I'm the best. This is chess, one for less. I'm a vet, you in check. I want it all, I want a ball, but I don't want a thing if God don't make the call. Y'all go fall. What makes a boss is the thoughts during that loss. Less remarks make you smart, and the toughest people got the biggest hearts. Left from leaking, now you parched behind bars, creating art we can't see. That ain't G, that's a pitiful thing we praise. That got our people locked away. It's another way, write a book and make them pay. They will, I do it every day. This was recorded from the paper I just made. All praise the God who sends those who make a way. He rose to take our place, another rose again today. We on a whole new level, trying to make it from the struggle, trying to stay up and be humble. We'll never settle, cause we overcome the devil. He will never on our level, we will God, and he always on our side. She was always staying aside, we will never cut ties. We in this thing forever, we gon' shine, yeah, we gon' grind, yeah, we are fine. We got God, yeah, by our side, yeah, we got God, yeah, by our side, yeah, yeah. We gon' shine, yeah, we gon' grind, yeah, we all fine, yeah, we got God, yeah, by our side, yeah, we got God. We on a whole nother level, yeah, tryna make it from the struggle, tryna stay humble, yeah. We gon' shine, yeah, we gon' grind, yeah, we all fine, yeah, we got God, yeah, by our side, yeah, by our side, yeah, we gon' shine. We on a whole new level, tryna make it from the struggle, tryna step but be humble. We'll never settle, cause we overcome the devil. He was never on our level, we was God, and he on our side. She always aside, we never cut ties, yeah. We in this thing forever, we in this thing forever, yeah. We gon' shine.